Welcome one, welcome all to Game and Ramble. This is the Ramble Report episode 13, if I'm not mistaken. Lucky number 13 here on this 13th day of Friday. I don't think it's Friday the 13th, but it's Friday 13th episode. I don't fucking know.
Let's
We're
not
recording
link
it on
them
Friday.
distinctions together. That won't end well.
Um, yeah, man. Thank y'all for stopping by to ramble and report on the news. Before we get into it, check out my solo channel, the revival of unnecessary rambling. The most indecisive human on the planet strikes again. Um, I Jesus Christ. So we cut unnecessary rambling, switched the name to Game and Ramble. And my idea behind that was like, yeah, well, I think Game and Ramble sounds a little bit more welcoming, especially like unnecessary rambling for my ramblings. I'm fine calling them unnecessary, but I don't want Loon's ramblings to be unnecessary and Jeffrey's ramblings to be unnecessary and any other guests we bring on. I don't want their ramblings to feel unnecessary. Um, yeah, it was just, if I'm being completely honest, I feel like my brain just is not firing on all cylinders as of like the last year plus or so. A lot of really poor decisions. As soon as we changed the name from Unnecessary Rambling to Game and Ramble, viewership absolutely fucking tanked and like overnight. And once again all my fault for I not only changed the name, changed all the thumbnail identifiers, changed all the just a lot of fucking bad decision making in one short burst. And yeah, ever since then I've been having that idea of like we probably should switch back, but do we switch back and like is that makes it more confusing? And so what I did was I created a new channel. But not only did I create a new channel, I named it Sideshow Sylvia at first. Just my last name is Sylvia. And I was like, yeah, there we go. And then it hit me. I was like, it probably makes the most sense to switch this to unnecessary rambling. So we're easygoing gaming, unnecessary rambling, game and ramble sideshows. And actually, to be clear, before this was ever called unnecessary rambling in the beginning, it was just my name. So I think we're at like 15 name changes at this point. Listen, guys, I will never claim to be the brightest or yeah, I am a indecisive motherfucker, but at the end of the day, I'm trying, man. I'm out here trying. I'm just trying. I'm throwing shit at a wall, seeing if anything sticks, but we got some slippery shit here. Ain't much sticking. So
Yeah, what you can do is your best. Give me one moment, quick.
so trying my best to get everything kind of figured out. So if you would please head on over there to, and I'll have it pinned in the comments and it'll be in the description and all that. So if you want to hear my solo rambling, so like the game of the year, hey, I'll, and also that's another thing when looking at the analytics for Game and Ramble lately, Loon and I's videos have been performing better than my solo shit. So I was like, well, that's fucking perfect, and so I was like, when I was thinking, I was like, I had a thought of like, do I start up a new channel for just the Ramble Report? And I was like, that's kind of fucking shitty. Like making Loon start over from scratch with me whenever he did a lot to help build up Game and Ramble. And so it's like that feels kind of shitty with this already being monetized. It's like, I don't know, I can go and figure this out. I can go and get this back up to 1,000. It's gonna take some time. Hopefully by this time next year, praying to God that thing will be at 1,000, so can make a little bit of cash from that. Um, so yeah, that's sort of the whole idea. Go check it out. Go subscribe. It would help a lot. It would mean a lot. I'm gonna try to post as frequently as possible over there. The game of the year ranking will be over there. The hidden gems, the news, everything solo that I do will be over there. So no more solo videos on Game and Ramble. You can find that all on Unnecessary Rambling. So
Stuck with me and anyone else, I'm afraid. Any other
yeah,
guests?
and that was the thing too, where it's like this is a long form sort of the long form stuff has been doing better than the shorter form stuff. So it's like, well, let's have an avenue for the shorter form stuff and not just shorter form stuff on unnecessary rambling. On unnecessary rambling, you'll like it'll be just whatever fucking random idea hits my head. So that's gonna that's gonna be that over there. And yeah, just hoping that that does decently well and that I don't have to come crawling back with another indecisive ass announcement 6 months from now being like, hey, I can't fucking get this thing to work either. Yeah, it's definitely failure's a part of life. You know, you learn from your failures, you grow from your failures. All the cliches are true. It's a learning process, man. It's a learning fucking process, and I've never been one to pick up information too quickly. So I'm trying my best, not the brightest, trying to figure it out, guys. I apologize for the inconsistency. I mean, the consistency has been there for fucking 5 years. You know, there's never been a drop off in consistent content, but inconsistent messaging, inconsistent promoting, inconsistent on all of those fronts. So I deeply, deeply apologize for just the confusion, and I'm hoping that this can kind of clear up a lot of that confusion. My solo shit, unnecessary rambling, Luna and I shit, gaming ramble. Hope that's
It'll also give you as well to spin it on a more positive, because that felt a little bit too negative, beating yourself down. That will give you obviously the avenue to, because what we were running into problems with is news articles and stuff like that. You need to catch it while it's hot a lot of the time.
yep,
So when we're stacking them up till Friday, if something come out Monday, that's 4 days old. You know that,
yeah,
like, it's already been said what needs to be said for a lot of people. I'm sure people would want to hear what we think, but to have a growth of something is, hit it while it's hot. It will let you pick out stories that can be hit on immediately, and then, like we are now with the Ramble report today, which we'll be getting into, we can pick up the ones that have fallen probably closer, or the ones that aren't. It doesn't really matter if you don't hit them, like they're not the top stories and stuff like that. And then
yeah.
on top of that, giving you a little bit of like breathing space with creativity, because once something begins to start sticking with a channel, you can't really pivot, because when you pivot and stuff, because like you said, what seems to have been happening is that more people are kind of funneling and becoming more interested in the long form stuff, which has hurt the solo stuff strangely, where it was kind of doing a lot better. So I don't know. I still don't understand it. The numbers
I don't
side of
either.
things. I don't. It still is a head scratcher to me. Like, I get the name change and stuff like that. That makes sense why that would shake things up, but solo stuff, it doesn't. Yeah, if it did well, I don't know why it would stop doing well all of a sudden. It just doesn't. It's very strange.
Yeah, and I should be clear, like I don't want to make it so like those videos are still doing fine. It's not like there's been some crazy fall off in that regard or anything. Like I could still keep posting them here and they would do fine. And like, there's been a few in the last couple months that have broke over 1,000 views um and so like it's not it just I understand how frustrating it probably is to have your feed spammed with and I'm gonna have to do a whole lot of feed spamming on the unnecessary rambling channel once again, apologies, but got to build that shit up. It's got to post as much as possible to get new eyeballs on it. But I understand how frustrating it can be where you have like a 4 hour video and then a 20-minute video and then a 10-minute video and then a 5 hour video and then a 3 hour video all in the same, all on the same feed. I understand that that can be just confusing more so than anything. And like, well, what is this channel? Is it this? Is it that? Is it news? Is it breaking news? Is it a long form podcast? Is it, and so listen, once again, this might be the wrong decision. I've been making a lot of consecutive wrong decisions. And if I have to report back here to you in 6 months and be like it was the wrong decision, we're pivoting again, I'm praying that I don't have to do that because I really, really don't want to fucking do that again. It feels like I've been doing so much pivoting and not enough sticking, and I just want to fucking stick with something.
Just sit down already. Stop getting up.
Yeah, it's uh, you know that go check out Unnecessary rambling. It'll be pinned in the comment section. It'll be pinned in the description. So go and check all of that out and stick here for Loon and I's long form rambling and reporting. And before we get into anything, you know, it so it's the thing too where like I am I'm 30 right now. I feel like I got about 15 years left where I can work, 12 to 15 hours every single day and not die. Um, and so it's like I this is the window, like this is the only window. And so it's like make shit happen now. That's kind of been my and like I don't feel like I really can do that on this channel where I don't feel like I can really like it's once again just too much. You know what I mean? Like there's and just not the like whenever I was doing the 2 videos a day and every single day news videos and shit was taken off on the channel. Um, but it's like I can't then mix in a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of like here's a totally different thing and like so I'm just trying to streamline shit where it's like the thumbnails will all look very fucking similar on that other channel, and so hopefully people are able to have that identifier of like, okay, this is exactly what that is. And it's like, all right, let's just work like a fucking maniac for hopefully a year to get it back to 1,000 subscribers, and then analyze at that point of like what the next step is for the channel, and hopefully find something that sticks over there because that's not to go on to this 4 hour talking about this shit because who the fuck cares, but Luna and I definitely are going to have our own channels as well. Like we're going to have other things that if we're ever going to potentially go full time with this shit, like we're both gonna have to be making probably the majority of the money elsewhere. Um, so that's kind of my outlook on it, where it's like have a channel that I can grind like a fucking maniac on, and then have this as kind of the, you know,
It's just
podcast channel.
yeah, it's a slow burn kind of thing. You know that this has the core backbone right now, and it's slowly climbing and stuff like that. So getting that other one where it's going to be short form stuff because you can then funnel from both. Obviously, there'll be people that right now jumping from this to that and helping, but you're going to get new people because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was somebody already commenting on that other channel that I've never seen like their name before. So that seems to be like somebody already grabbed new from outside the ether, which is obviously
Yeah.
the goal and the aim, you know, to
Yeah.
expand the reach. And yeah, like you said, obviously we're both going to have to take a crack at it. Um, I'm in the process of setting something up for me. It's I still don't know what that will be. It's in like the brainstorming phase and stuff like that, but I like to obviously talk very long, so it'll probably be long form from my side of stuff. When I do decide to get it off the ground, and yeah,
Yeah, and obviously we'll promote the shit out of that. And that's sort of the thing is like this can be the more community driven, more and hopefully with that kind of focus we can hone in on that a little bit better and not do so much of the grind on this end and make this feel more of like a fun, chill, and we'll have to figure some things out where like we'll probably Luna's in the process of learning a little bit more about editing, and so Luna's gonna be clipping out some of the clips here and posting them as like standalone videos. So just some things like that to try to broaden the reach a little bit to at least get 2 videos out on the feeds for Game and Ramble a week. I think that 2 is kind of, that's perfect, 2 or 3. You don't really want much more than that with such long form content. It's not as bite sized and digestible. And yeah, that once again, that was my whole thought. Where it's like you're in the middle of watching a 4 hour video and you see a bunch of 10, 15 minute videos pop up on your feed the next few days. It's like, dude, I'm still in the middle of trying to get through y'all's 4 hour horse shit. So, and we'll still do like individual shit here as well. Like we'll still, we're gonna do more auctions, we're gonna do rankings and shit like that. That'll be standalone videos that like so nothing, pretty much everything's gonna remain the same here, just more consistent. Where it's like you click on it, it's Loon and I, or Jeffrey and I, or Loon, Jeffrey and I, or whoever the fuck wants to join to have long form podcast style discussions about the video games. So that is that. Any
Sounds good.
questions?
Yep. And if you do have, obviously leave them in the comments and pick his brain on them, and yeah, go over and support that new channel, of
Please,
course.
please, please. The revival, the unnecessary revival. That ain't a bad name. Unnecessary revival. Unnecessary rambling. Go and re-support unnecessary rambling. As if you didn't already. I fucking apologize. So sorry. So fucking stupid. So fucking stupid. That Jesus Christ. Like it's so wild after you make a dumb decision and then you like after the dust settles and you're like, "What? Why the fuck? Why did I ever change the name of that?" Just yeah. Anywho,
You live and you learn.
live and you learn, you fail and you grow. So, failure number 745 down, and let's see if we can get one win on the board. It's like I feel like the Detroit Lions in 2014. But hey, sometimes it's fun to root for the bad team. All right, let's talk some rambling and some reporting. Shout out to Sadik and Captain Corndog for supporting at that shout out tier. Failure number 749. I forgot to shout y'all out last week. I'm a fucking idiot. I apologize, guys. Um, usually we save the shout outs for the end of the video, but shout outs are now happening at the beginning and the end of the video because my memory is horrible. So let's start every video with the shout out for our $10 supporters. Sadik, Captain Corndog, thank y'all so damn much for keeping the lights on at the Game and Ramble Studios.
Yep.
All right.
And just for the record, everybody, I'm having to do timestamps on the fly. So if you see me looking down, it's trying to get that process, because what that will also help as well when we're doing it. What we're doing now, that can kind of be a way of structuring the video. So then I don't have to write down a lot of the bulk crap in the future. I can just do that and use it as a template. It's like you said, the
Yeah.
shout outs being at the beginning. I know that there needs to be a shout outs tab. Here we
And
go.
that's the thing. It's like trying to split up the workload 50-50 between Loon and I, and that way I can focus a lot on the other endeavor as well, and then we can, we can split the money from Game and Ramble 50-50 with the workload being split 50-50 and all of that good shit. So trying to just figure all of that shit out behind the scenes as well, but not that any of that really fucking matters to the video today. Reporting on the rambles, rambling on the reports. We got to start off with our Q&A from our Patreon and YouTube members who support us here. Thank y'all all so much for supporting. You can jump in at that $5 tier and support us on Patreon or become a YouTube member at that $5 tier and ask any question that you want to ask, and we will answer every single one of them. We're not all that big of a show, so anybody who jumps in and supports us and asks a question, we shall answer it. Justin Parkhouse writes in and says, "What is your favorite Christmas gaming memory?" Example, surprise console, game under the tree, or just gaming with family/loved ones. So for me, man, I'll get to a gaming one in a second, but I remember one Christmas, like probably 2005, 2006-ish, and me and my buddy Kevin, who he lived a pretty rough life, and he lived with me for the majority of his, childhood into adulthood years, um early adulthood years, and we my mom went fucking crazy one year and bought a whole bunch of like WWE action figures, and she bought a bunch of them for both me and Kevin. And it was a really cool thing where like it was an equal amount of toys between us. We were both big wrestling fans, and we just sat there for like it was probably only 15 minutes, but it felt like hours just peeling packages, opening, looking, talking about them. And I remember he got like this cool ass Rey Mysterio. It was like a purplish looking Rey Mysterio attire. And then I got Triple H with the red trunks. I'll never forget that. That's my favorite Christmas memory of all time because it was like, I don't know, it felt cool too because I was an only child, and so he was pretty much my brother. Is pretty much my brother. Um, and so it was just nice to be able to share what I think we both still look back on as like our favorite Christmas memory. Um, yeah, I don't know how the hell my mom swung that. And also my cousin Davey was there, and he's passed away now, and he was a mega wrestling fan. So like if I don't remember the specifics, but maybe like a Sabu figure was in there who like kind of a deeper cut. And I was like, oh yeah, Davey, he had some input on that one. So shout out to Davey, R.I.P. man. Yeah, he left me. I don't want to fuck up the camera, but he left me his entire like DVD wrestling DVD collection. I got that shit. Just I mean stacks and stacks and stuff. I'll try to see. Oh shit. I don't know if you can see it. It's on the other, yeah, right there, next to the Series X, like on the
Oh
other end
yeah.
of that. Yeah, and that's like two layers of wrestling DVDs and that shit. Um, so shout out to Davey, man. I've that was brutal. He had been sick for a long ass time, so I guess it was expected, but it was still so unexpected. He was so young. But anywho, it was just that was an awesome Christmas, and yeah, my favorite of all time. But favorite gaming related one, I think my mom got me the PS3 like a little bit after it came out for a Christmas one year, so that would probably be it for gaming. But really, I don't. It's not even close to me. The one with the action figure like that will always be my favorite gaming or my favorite Christmas memory. I don't really have a big gaming one per se.
Um, yeah. I think there's probably one in my mind that I can think of, which is I've told the story probably 100 times on the channel now. But the GTA thing of me jumping on the car and everything, so that was before the Christmas, so that was leading up to it. Um, I'd obviously expressed interest in games at that point, even though I had no idea what on earth I was doing. But yeah, the Christmas came around, opened up all the gifts and everything, and then you did the whole Duke, you know, subverting expectations. Like that's all you're getting and everything. And then it went into like the night. I think it was about 9 o'clock at night. Came down with one more thing, placed it in the center of the room, tearing it open, and it was a PS2.
Damn,
The
shit,
silver,
yeah.
you open it up as silver gray like box, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, hell yeah! And just like that
Yeah,
that feeling. That's probably one that'll stick with me.
shit,
Um,
yeah.
because it was so unexpected. Having expressed interest, but it's not like I had said that like, oh, I really want it and stuff like that. Like that kind of scenario kind of thing. It was just like when your parents know when your parents know.
Mm-hmm.
When you're very much interested in something. And then there was another one as well. I remember that isn't like video game related, but it was the first entry foray into Warhammer, which was we
Mm-hmm.
spent the entire day in town. Uh, my dad had to go to the bank for something, and then while we were there, he ended up setting me up my first like child's bank account thing, like young person's
Mm-hmm.
bank account, and it was so it felt like an eternity in there, like because there was nothing to do as a kid. It is so dry of an experience, and you're just sitting there hour after hour after hour, having to wait. And then we was walking around after that, and then we stumbled upon it. We didn't like. I didn't know. I didn't have any interest. Not interest, like knowledge. I guess would be the better way of phrasing it. Of tabletop, had no knowledge of it whatsoever. Um, we were walking around and it was like out of the way. That's the big thing. It's why it never came into contact with me because it's not on like the main high street back where it originally was. It was kind of tucked away behind places. We ended up going in there. The I remember Phil is the person who greeted us, this really big muscular, bald biker metalhead, and it's just like heart of gold, but looked intimidating as hell. He was like, "Yeah, you like war, son," and stuff like that. And it's just like getting down to your level and just picking like here's all these interesting things and just hooking you onto the hobby and stuff like that. And I remember getting
Yeah.
a starter box set, um, ironically with the money that was just put in the bank account. So it didn't stay in
Dang.
that bank account for very long. But that was like, because I think that was in like an October or a November, so it was before the Christmas, but it was marked as a Christmas gift. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I think about that every now and then where I don't really have much of a desire to have kids or anything. Not I shouldn't say I don't have much of a desire, I just know how expensive it is. Like it's really just a financial thing. But every now and then I think back to some of those great childhood memories. And I'm like, it'd be dope to provide that for a little one. See, because like it is such a your eyes light up. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe. And I think I did get, I might have been the PS2 or the PS1 as well on Christmas or for my birthday or something like that. And having those experiences, um, you when a little one really fucking is like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like it's crazy because you get older and you just buy yourself whatever you want. And it's like, what a wonderful, that's like the greatest thing about adulthood is like, what if I want the fucking thing, I buy the fucking thing. But at the same time, like,
it devalues it to a degree.
yeah,
Like I don't want to sound. Well, it was entitled, I guess, because you could probably still maintain that to a degree, but you know that if there's something that you want, you'll just go out and get it.
mhm.
There's not that magic, that luster, that allure of like, ooh, if anything, it's like, when's it gonna arrive, man? You look at the look at the Amazon track and be like, fuck's sake, it's been delayed by like 2 hours. There's frustration instead of you know anticipation and love.
Well, yeah, and that's the anticipation is the right word. It's I talk about it all the time with like the Royal Rumble, where it's not the match that's so fun. It's waiting for the next person to come out because you don't know who it is. Like that's the thing is like you don't know. It's not the fact that you can buy whatever you want or within reason. I can't buy whatever the fuck I want. I ain't got money like that. But like you can buy within reason most games and shit like that. But it's there's no anticipation. There's no like you're going to get it. You know that you're going to get it or not. Like that's that. And so I think that's kind of the thing that's lost.
Unless
Like you're
you
not
order
wondering.
deliver at all costs.
Yeah, right. No fucking shit. Yeah. Play Asia, they'll give you some anticipation. Limited run games, they'll give you some anticipation.
But
Um,
what I wanted to link to that though is I don't know if you'll agree with this. That feeling has been replaced for me instead of for the purchase or like obtaining the product. It's been replaced with like showcases. Like when you're watching a showcase,
mhm.
that's where that anticipation feeling and like inner childhood comes out where you're like, man, it could be like with the THQ thing coming up. Like that's probably one of my most anticipated showcases of the year because they just have me ass games. Like there's so many IPs they have there where it's like, man, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. And I'm like holding out hope that that's going to be there. So I think that's where that's gone for me.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I talk about it all the time. It's like I get more hyped for trailers than I do for games, like thinking about what it could be when Witcher 4 gets revealed. It's like, oh damn, your brain starts going, okay, well, I wonder if they're going to do this. I wonder if the combat's going to be a little bit better. I wonder if they're going to have kind of the immersive sort of cuts with the cut scenes like they do in Cyberpunk 2077. And like, I don't know, you just start thinking about all of these different elements. And yeah, that's definitely where a lot of the excitement comes from before you can get your hands on the game, for sure.
Yep.
Well, dude, next up we got a question from Sean Ward on Patreon. And he asks, what games do you think have the very best and worst box art? If you have them in your collection, show us. So a little show and tell ain't never hurt nobody. So I grabbed a big old stack here.
I will say
And
before we begin, did you struggle finding bad box art?
Yeah,
I really did. I was picking things up and I was like, oh, that's good box art, good box art. And I was looking at, it, I was like, I picked out four good box art. Like, where's the best? I was like, man, this is actually kind of hard. Like box arts, I don't think there's many of them that are like outright bad. There's like kind of uninspired, which is what I had to end up
hmm
resorting to for a few. But
yeah, I didn't even pick out my bad one. I will. I know what it is. It is very, very hard. The bad ones are much harder than the good ones. But I love Fables box art. The,
mm,
kid looking down at the older version of himself. And yeah, I think that's a fucking awesome piece of artwork there. And then we're going to get into a little streak here of the eyeball art. So we got Resident Evil 2 Revelations, which is obviously inspired by OG Resident Evil 2. But then you get into like your manhunts. I love a good eyeball with like some weird shit going on with the actual pupil. And then we got Twisted Metal with the eyeball. I like the simplicity. I like the actual text being on one side of the box, face being on the other, the smile, everything about that is so simple but so just dark and I don't know, has like a little spooky vibe to it.
mm.
And then we got, this is a weird one, but I just love that Trigger Man
Oh
cover.
damn,
And it's kind of got like the, Punisher looking dude on there, but like the overly animated
yeah,
faces on the side. Yeah, I thought that was, and that's kind of my era of artwork that I really like. I like No One Lives Forever a good deal. The
mm.
silhouette in the background, the chick, up holding the gun, kind of 007 pose, and then the back as well with just the half of her face that's being shown. And I like the text on the side. I know that's not necessarily, not necessarily factoring that in, but I really do love like some unique text on the side of the, because that's what you see whenever it's on your shelf, and it always just
Yeah.
pops off the yellow.
It's always like kind of hurt my soul when they don't do spine art or be
Hmm.
artistic and it's just flat, like just white, black, or whatever, and then just text.
Totally.
It's like, oh
Agreed.
man, really?
Well, speaking of that, that is absolutely what we got here with Oni, but I love that the
At least they tried on the cover art. There you go.
yeah, the cover's dope, and it's got the I don't know if you can really see it, but what do they call this type of cover where it's got like the
It's like holographic, isn't it?
yeah. So, got that there. And then we got a couple modern ones. Evil West, I love the cover for
Mm.
that. The cowboy with just so much artwork going on in that one shot. You got the fucking, you got the cowboy, you got the monsters, you got the sunset, like got the bats in the background, and then also nice orange spine. Love that. And then we get into our Grand Theft Autos. So Rustler, inspired by the GTA games. I love that artwork, silly, fun. But then we get into the actual, got your GTA 4, of course, your Vice City, of course, 3, San Andreas. Love all of the artwork on those because they all show like unique shots from the different characters in the games or just different,
They
kind of
didn't.
more,
They didn't go with that style, did they? For five, where it's like the
yeah.
comic, or did they?
Hmm.
Oh, I haven't seen that GTA 5 case in a very long time
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't grab it, but
because it's
yeah,
so
it's,
iconic.
hmm yeah. And then Max Payne of fucking course. They gotta shout out some Max Payne in there. And then this is one that I wanted to shout out, Second Sight. Just a dude kind of losing his mind, gun in hand, hands on head, like the orange sort of the kind of light, the reddish orange shooting down onto his back. Like for me, the one I wanted to shout this out because that cover stood out to me so much, and it was one that I rented from Blockbuster like a lot just because of the cover. I never really liked the game at all. I mean, it's fine, but I just loved the cover. It always stood out to me. So those are my shout outs. What you
All
got,
right,
man?
I think I have one, two, three, four, five, six, about seven good, and then four bad. So we'll start off with good. Absolutely love that Rido art.
Hmm.
Um, Having never played the original game, and ordering it, unfortunately, it suffers from the actual generic text. I've noticed Limited Run do that a lot with their games. Unfortunately, it's really really unfortunate. But that's really cool. And then what goes hand in hand with that, which I've stupidly put at the bottom, is obviously Persona. It always exudes flavor. But I noticed you didn't have any steelbooks. Are you not a steelbook
Not
type of
not really.
person?
I
Because
don't mind them.
I've always loved steelbooks because it you can get the same cover art on both, but when it's in a steelbook, it pops more. I've
Hmm.
noticed, and I know some people are adamant they absolutely hate steelbooks and will go out of their way to avoid them, and then others will open with arms and accept
Yeah, it's I'm weird with it. Where like I actually don't really care about the visual thing much at all. Like I appreciate good artwork and stuff, but like I leave all the stickers on my cases for how much I bought the games for. Like I just want to play the games. And I actually kind of like having the identifier on there where it's like, oh yeah, I remember buying Silent Hill for $20, that type of thing.
them, and then your heart sinks when you look at it now, and it's like 500 for some of
Well,
those
that's good for
games.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, the fucking Yakuza 7 art is so
Mm.
it doesn't do it justice because obviously my camera's poorer quality, so apologies for that. But it's just the color, man. It pops, and then obviously the steelbook as well, where it pops.
Yep. Yeah, those
Just
still books, those are badass, man.
very nice. Shout out to a classic though, dude. Vampire Rain, not a
Yeah.
particularly good game, but a fairly cool case, and obviously big vampire fan. Um, Very 360 esque. I'm kind of surprised you also didn't pick this one out because I know I don't like this entry, but I do like the series. But dude, the OG Saints Row just exudes
Yeah.
early 2000s. Like you're talking like Fast and Furious vibes. The original one.
I
Yeah.
thought about it, but I was like, I got all these fucking GTAs I don't want to
Oh,
throw. Yeah,
it's alright. I
but
got you covered.
it's definitely Saints Row 1 and 3 have fucking
Mm.
awesome. And 4 as well, actually, have awesome artwork.
Lords of the Fallen reboot, really dope. Steelbook with
Oh yeah, the
the
fucking
Dark Crusader
flying,
and then the flying bat. Yep.
and that's the moon, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That is dope. Yeah.
And
Fuck
then
yeah.
you can't see it because it's so
Can't
dark,
see
but
it.
it's got the. I think you've seen clips of it, the Umbral, the other world,
Mm,
and that's what that is, which is cool to put it on the other side, being the other world.
shit, yeah.
Keeping in with like morbidity, dude. Evil Within, dude.
Oh yeah. Right. I don't know
Mm.
why I didn't grab that.
It's simple, but it is good. Like it's just barbed wire on the brain with a nail in it,
Yeah.
and yeah, so cool, so cool. And then of course, gotta rep my boy, gotta rep Isaac.
Hell
The
yeah.
Repentance art is so good because what it's not going to do it justice here, but if you go and Google the Binding of Isaac Repentance and stuff, every single thing in this picture are all items from the game. Because I remember when
Nice.
it got announced, Sinvicta, who's a massive Isaac YouTuber, went through and was like, "Oh, that's," and you were able to pick out like because obviously the game has like 800 plus items, and every single thing in that picture is in relation to the game. Um, as much as I love Eurojank, here are my four. I don't really like them, but Two Worlds. Not only is it a promotional copy, I think it's just so uninspired. Like this was meant to
Yeah, that is
be.
rough.
This was meant to be. People still don't know who went with the term, but Oblivion Killer. Like somebody put
Oh
that out there
yeah.
one time, and nobody can trace it. No one knows who said it first. There's no like news outlet thing that ran with it first. But it's just man, that is weak in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the funny thing where it's a lot of the time the media is responsible for that shit. And
I think it
it's
was
like,
just some because it's a Eurojank game, of course. I think it was just somebody on like a some forum has said
isn't that
that, and then
funny, man?
it's just spread. Um,
That is fucking hilarious,
but yeah,
dude.
that did so much damage to that IP, along with
And
the
for no
crappy frame rate.
for no real reason. Like if it wasn't the developer who actually said that themselves, it's like that sucks, man. You killed a game just by your fucking shitty phrase. Which is, yeah, that would probably be my dumbass to coin some phrase like that. So who the fucking I can't say anything.
Obviously, I defend this game more than it probably deserves. But dude, this box art's so weak. Like the Phantom Pain, it's just the amount of stuff
Yeah.
that does go on in this game. I know it's half finished stories and stuff like that, but there is so many cool moments that you could have plastered onto the front of that, and that's what you come up with. Like to put it into perspective, the Ground Zero's front cover box art looks better, and that's a glorified demo.
You
This
want
is the
my hot
main.
take?
You probably like it.
I know. I think all of Metal Gear's box art is kind of uninspired. Like 2 is probably the best, but I mean, Metal Gear Solid 1 is the most basic ass shit ever. 3 is a little bit better, but 4 not that great. 4 is just the photo of Snake with the old fucking white hair and all that, right? With a little
Yeah,
bit of red in the
it's not. That's the yeah. They've never been. I wanted to see if is the Delta box
it's
art any
just
good?
a photo of Snake. Which I mean,
MGS3
hey,
Delta.
at least they're staying on a theme there. But I am 2 is definitely the best one, and I actually like the Subsistence, the blue, the one that came to Xbox. I really like that cover a lot for
Hmm.
MGS2. But the orange and the red, like 2
I was
is
gonna
the
say
best
that.
one.
Maybe this doesn't. Snake Eater's good for the PS2.
It's okay. Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just
it's better than anything else that they've put out.
yeah,
Um, but yep, sticking with that. Oh man, I punch at this game so much. I do feel bad, but Torment, I really, it's so meh.
yeah.
Like you're talking number one Kickstarter, like slamming that on, and like it's bigger than almost the game's title. I don't know. It's kind of weak. It's kind of eh. And then as much as I love this game, it's kind of goofy. If we're being honest,
Yeah.
it's
But
so
there is something kind of charming about
it
it though. Like you
because
can
that is
see
the game.
how
It's the
yeah,
game. It's so campy and low quality across
yeah.
the board. Like they don't bring out the and it's just it's such a low resolution picture.
That's an expensive physical copy, or at least it was back in the day.
I don't remember. I know it was a recent pickup in the past few years, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that began shooting up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
that is all mine.
This is the one I'm gonna shout out for being horrible. I love the pink, but man, look at the fucking characters. Like it is genuinely like they pulled this straight from the game, like in game, not even a cinematic, not like just straight up pulled from a character actually doing these actions in game. This is such bad low quality in terms of the like it's such low fidelity for these character models. But I love that pink spine, man. I love the pink
Hmm.
background, but that is the character models on that. And just like how much blank space in like
Yeah,
on the sides here. If you're gonna put that many characters, you gotta spread the field a little bit more and have something to take up that and then just have the pink. I don't know. I just don't think that's a great cover at all. But I do love, love, love. Like I love the cover because I love the pink as when I see it in my shelf and that pink just immediately jumps out. The same way that Cyberpunk and Indica, the
yeah,
yellow just
like a
jumps out.
dragon. Yeah, like a dragon stands out and stuff like. Because when you do look behind both of us, obviously a lot of it blends in. The white for when it's a 360 game or the black and stuff, it all blends in. But then when you have a really standout color, because I know Star Wars has done like yellow quite a few times, and that really pops. That also They don't. It definitely feels like they don't put as much effort in it anymore because that's not a marketing technique, and it was so few people buy physical copies. And if you're buying a physical copy now, you're going to be buying it regardless. Whereas before, obviously, there wasn't digital storefront, so you had to make yourself pop on a shelf,
Yeah,
so that when you enter
for
a store, you're
sure.
like, "Oh, what's that?" Um,
100%, man.
so
Well, appreciate you, Sean Ward, for writing in. That was your list, right? That was all your games.
yeah,
Perfect.
I
Perfect.
struggled
Perfect.
getting bad ones. I'm afraid.
Garrett Sharp writes in and says, "What is a game franchise that you would want to revive? If you could revive any game franchise, what would you pick?" And I hate to be redundant, but last week I think we probably talked about the one that I would go to first, um, The Getaway. I would really like to see The Getaway. Uh, you know, The Getaway get revived, if you will. I think that there's that name is just so good, so good. It's like, damn, that you could if you made that into a cool kind of GTA styled game, heists and shit, like that could be sick. But Legacy of Kain is one that I'm really hoping that those did well. And I'm gonna buy that physical copy just to support. Because I played a little bit of it and I was like, it's okay. But I think what they could do with a full blown reboot remake would be dope. And I just wasn't really in the headspace at the time to play those games. It was late last year, and kind of towards the end of the year, I just check out a little bit. I don't really know why. I just get into this headspace where I'm like, all right, let's kind of regroup and charge up and get ready for the new year. So I just wasn't really in the mood to play uh, much of anything late last year. So that was kind of on me more so than Legacy of Kain. I need to, you know what? I'm going to do that right now. So Legacy of Kain is going to be my shout out, and I'm going to buy a physical copy right now.
Yeah, I got it given to me as a gift late last year and never boot it up. Um, that's got to be one that I give a look into. I don't. It's so tough because there's been like this would have been a lot easier a few years ago for me because there was stuff like CRPGs that I would have wanted to see come back and stuff like that. Oh, okay, no, that's not as difficult. I would love to see Splinter Cell actually come back in a proper way. If I'm being honest, because there's we was talking about with Eric's home the other day with the stealth and stuff like that. Like I don't want stealth games personally like that. Like they're just not. I don't find them interesting. In the same way that it's like with how I've looked at Legacy of Kain, if I'm being honest, and how like the puzzle situation is just it's just dated. If I'm gonna dedicate time to something, it's gonna be something that I'm just gonna have fun with,
Totally.
more so than tolerate. It's why I also tapped out of. I've 100% just given up on them. We've said it before, the Tomb Raider games. Like I
Hmm.
respect them for what they are. There's no way in how I'm sitting through three of them, and then another three of them. Because I think there's six, isn't there? One to six they remastered.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot.
Like no, absolutely not. Um, because I was actually I didn't think Conviction and Blacklist were that bad. Like I would happily have games set in that kind of feel. Like they don't have to be extremely brutally challenging and punishing. Like it can still be action oriented and giving the player that choice of if you want to go through because you can play through both of them games basically without any alerts. I've seen it done via center strain, or you can do what a lot of people do, where you just aggressive stealth and you end up taking enemies out. So
Hmm.
I'd probably go with that because a lot of other things seem to be in the works, but I'm still not. There's obviously been rumors and rumblings that that's going to be coming at some point. I don't have faith in Ubisoft to do it in their modern day because they've announced that like Ghost Recon's coming back, but it's coming back as a live service, and it's just like if Ghost Recon has no chance of coming back as a normal game, like what hope in hell does Splinter Cell have? Honestly,
Dude, you know what I think does actually have some hope finally? Tony Hawk, like a legit return. not, the remakes and remaster. Although a remake of Tony Hawk Underground, I would absolutely take. Iron Galaxy crushed 3 and 4. Like I could do one of those games every other year, something like that. I think we could get to a place where they just full on make the next Tony Hawk game. So that would be another. Like I would really like to see an Iron Galaxy solo, that like a brand new entry in the Tony Hawk series from them. I'd love to see that. Um, Also, Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal
Mm.
should come back. Like, I know it would be difficult, but I think there is a cool formula where you take cues from the show, where you can get out on foot, run around, fuck shit up, and then it's most kind of like Mad Max. Just make Twisted Metal like that Mad Max game. Get Avalanche to do it. Tons of car combat. Like there's a cool Twisted Metal game out there in someone's mind, not being made, which is unfortunate. But yeah,
Throw. I really do like it. It hurts me because I know that the Evil Within was almost my Resident Evil. It was the game that
hmm
because I had no interest in horror games. It wasn't the fact that I could play them. It's just like it. Nothing ever clicked. Like I remember playing Amnesia and being like, yeah, it is what it is. Layers of Fear and stuff like all these games, and then watching Indie Mouse do his video on The Evil Within 2 when it came out on its release. I was like, this game looks really fucking cool. Like, because I
yeah,
remember playing the very opening snippet of The Evil Within 1 as well and being like, don't really care for this. This this isn't for me at this current point in time. And like with that time that passed between me playing that and me watching that Evil Within 2, like I was fully hooked. I remember going out that evening and getting it, coming back, playing it. I think I beat it over the course of the weekend. Like it was a very quick turnover, and I was like, oh, that was amazing. I
nice,
love this. I
yeah,
love everything about this game because it felt like he had sat there and listened to the complaints and actually made the game enjoyable as well as balancing out the horror themed elements and stuff like that. Like it struck everything perfectly. Like there were sections in that game that were intense while also
dude.
blending in perfect amount of like action combat so that you're engaged. So it's not just being like constantly have to run away or constantly having that eliminated from you as the player. Like you had, control over your actions and your scenarios, which is great, and that's what I really value from horror games. I can't stand horror games where it's just run and hide. That's why I don't like Outlast and stuff like that.
Yeah, that Evil Within 2, man. It damn near flawless. Like damn near flawless, dude. What a video game. I would kill to I wish Microsoft would have let go of that IP and let Tango take that with them. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with it. I mean, I guess there's some value for like everyone wants to adapt games into movies now. So like maybe there's some you can pitch it to some fucking Hollywood
Oh yeah.
executive, Hollywood showrunner and let that kind of take the series off and then go and get Bloober to make the next game or something.
That's what I
Like,
was about to say. It is. I understand. Obviously, we all want them, but it is intelligent as a business to sit on it for a few years and then see. Because if you have it, you have it, kind of thing. Because they loosen their grip on Alan Wake, which I think they could have fought and like regained, or not regained, but maintained control over it. Because there was a lot of like up in the air who owns what with Remedy, with it being Microsoft published and stuff like that. But it's just the thing of you can then take that and spin it off into something down the line, and it's just and at the end of the day, if it sits there and does nothing, you can always sell it off individually as well.
yeah, yeah, such a bummer, man.
Mm,
I would really love to see Tango get another crack at the Evil Within because
mm.
it seemed like that's where they were heading, for the Evil Within 3, but it will never be, unfortunately. So Next up, Captain Corndog writes in and says, favorite video game reveals slash announcement trailers. Doesn't have to, end up being your favorite game, but the reveal itself that is super memorable, something that really, really got you hyped. So just an announcement, E3 moment, whatever it may be that really, I have so many, man. I could spend 10 hours doing this specific thing. Cyberpunk, dude. Cyberpunk 2077, that 48-minute long E3 demo, whenever that got out there to the public. And listen, it was 100% false advertising. Like that shit looked absolutely nothing like the game that we ended up getting. But that fucking long ass trailer or long ass demo, that I don't know if I've ever been more hyped for a video game than when I was watching through that entire and through that entire demo. The whole thing where they go in and you have to negotiate, I forget the lady's name, where you stole something from her and then she sends you back to the hideout and it's like the you're given the item and it's like the negotiation there goes on and it can go all these different ways and I'll never forget that fucking trailer, man, or that 48-minute long video. That shit was so sick. So, so sick. So that would be number one for me by a mile. I think that was like the greatest, whatever, reveal trailer thing of all time. Didn't pan out, but
See,
in
that's
terms
the
of getting people
thing.
hyped,
Yeah, because I'm more excited for the announcement of a game than a trailer accompanying it. Like because with what you were saying that it didn't pan out and it wasn't realistic, I kind of learnt my lesson with Watch Dogs 1 because they built it up so perfectly with it was like there's no way that this can happen, but you're constantly bigging up these next generation consoles as being it. Like it was going to be a massive leap and kind of thing. And when you look back, you think of like the big leaps from PS1 to PS2 and then PS2 to PS3. And it's like, well, of course, this is the next logical step. Surely, like you need these massive, massive leaps. And then obviously, again, that wasn't the case. Boy, was that one hell of a downgrade. That was probably one of the most atmospheric trailers with like weather effects and stuff like that. And it was not the case with that
yeah,
release.
staying right
So
there beyond Good and Evil 2, kind of in
mm,
that same Ubisoft camp. That'd be another one for me.
yeah, they have a habit of doing that, don't they? Getting a little bit
Oh
out of
yeah.
control with their trailers.
Skull and Skull and Bones first reveal was hyped as hell. Like, yeah, there's a lot.
Yep. So if you have more, you can feel free to take it away because I that's the thing of like once that burned me that hard, it was like man, I take so much with a grain of salt now. Like maybe Mankind Divided out of the announcement that was coming out was I was pretty hyped, but I just look through things with such a cynical lens when it comes to trailers. Now,
Yeah, dude. I mean, kind of staying right there in that same vein. Knights of the Old Republic, the remake for that in 2021, hyped beyond belief. Before I knew Aspire was like the sole developer working on it, which was like catastrophic. But just that seeing it, like, oh my God, it's coming back. I never would have thought in a million years it was coming back. And then in that same press conference, Wolverine was revealed. It's like, holy fucking shit. Those were two really, really big holy shit moments. The Last of Us 2 at E3 2018 or 2017, when you're seeing, going prone and just that combat in The Last of Us 2, that combat trailer specifically, that was batshit, man. I'd never seen anything like that in my fucking life. It was like, there's no way that can actually be real gameplay. And then it ended up being actually real fucking gameplay. You're like, yep. Those motherfuckers and Uncharted 4, that E3 thing. The where it's like the Jeep scene and the just the density of the NPCs in that environment. Like uh, I probably should have expected that Last of Us 2 gameplay was actually gameplay just based on what Uncharted 4 was able to deliver, but it was just I don't know. I was like, you're doing what? You're that? Oh, okay. Um yeah, there's a lot, man. God of War, 2017 reveal, maybe 2016 reveal with the whole band and the orchestra and the lead up to it and the, seeing Kratos' silhouette. Resident Evil 2, the remake announcement, seeing the rat kind of scurry around and then it cuts at the very end of it to Leon with the, gun pointed at the camera. Clockwork this year.
Oh,
Clockwork
yeah.
had one of the greatest trailers I've ever seen.
Can't
Starfield.
Perfect Dark as well. Like it hurts to
Yes.
think back on it. Like it's that was because we I think we reacted to that live for the first
I
time,
don't think so.
or was it not?
Nuh-uh. No, that was 2023.
Was it 2023?
Yeah, or it was 2024.
Okay, feels like we've been doing this forever.
It's been a
But
long
yeah,
time.
that trailer in itself was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Um, and unfortunately, obviously, and that's the thing. Like when you stack all these trailers up, you look how many actually landed, and look how many crashed and burned. It's why I really wish I could be a hopeless optimist when it comes to trailers, but man, do they just it's just an idea until you know that it is coming out, really,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're dealing with, publicly traded companies and fucking big corporations and shit like that, any given little thing can get your entire livelihood nixed. And like, you can't take it, you can't look at it with just 100% belief that it'll actually come to be. But it's still fun to get excited about that shit, man. I remember like the Xbox backwards compatibility announcement, not a trailer,
Mm.
but like even just something like that to get hyped about. The PlayStation used games, share games, like that whole kind of Xbox One killing moment.
Yeah.
That like those moments, that's the fun of the. It doesn't even necessarily have to be about the trailers per se, but there's just like these fun circumstantial, like the Splitgate thing, Splitgate 2 at the Summer Game Fest, where he pretty much killed his game. And he came out there, and a lot of people like say it was the make first person shooters great again. It's like
No,
that's
that
completely irrelevant.
no.
Kojima wore the same.
Yeah.
Kojima said something, make something great again. Like people do that as a spoof. To me, it was as soon as the gameplay was shown, and you're
Yeah.
talking about killing Call of Duty, and then
Well,
you cut to an Imagine
I
Dragons
was about to
trailer.
say it was the gameplay, the music, and then further on down the line, what people, were already kicking it, but it's the way they're handling it as well. It's just, yeah, it's just not good.
No,
You can't say that it's going to be making it great again when you're also treading in the same shit that everybody else is.
exactly. Overly monetized
Yep.
slop. Yeah, yeah. It's
So
it's funny because I was actually kind of hyped on the dude. I was like, fuck yeah,
yeah,
say
no,
some
he was
shit
like,
with your
yeah,
chest.
you tell him, and I was like, oh,
I like that shit. I thought,
yeah,
when Joseph Ferris did it, I like having a little bit of ego out there. I don't think you can, there's so many just soft ass people in this world in general. And it's like, you gotta fucking, if you're gonna work hard, fucking work hard. Believe in your shit. Go get it. Say something that you mean, say something that you feel. I'm so tired of like, uh, you know, well, I think we believe that we're doing something truly great with the power of PlayStation's, PSSR technology. Like, dude, fucking A, man. Say something that you feel. And maybe you do feel that, so it is what it is, but I don't know.
no,
I just
they've definitely reined it in as of late, like big time. Because you think back of like um
P Peter
Peter
Moore, the
Molyneux
GTA,
with
yeah.
saying that you can plant that in the ground, and it's like, no, Peter, you really can't. But I really do appreciate just how much blind optimism you have in your product. Cliff Blazinski as well was well
Yep.
known with, was it Lawbreakers,
Hmm.
where he came out and was puffing his chest, and it's like, because I agree with you, I would like to see more of that, but obviously you would like to see it also followed through with. I don't just want to have tons of people being egotistical maniacs and just not delivering.
100%.
That doesn't help anything. But like you said, one of the most iconic things. And I'm gonna maybe this is a hot take. I think the Game Awards blew up massively because of what Joseph Farris said. I think he has a massive
Yeah,
contributing thing of doing that because that doesn't just echo in the gaming space. Saying fuck the Oscars, that everybody knows what that is. Like, and then when that starts spinning and going, then people are like, "Oh, what is this then?" And that, yeah, that's an iconic moment, and it's even more iconic because he didn't just do that and puff his chest. Dude delivered, and not only delivered, he's delivered again and again.
twice. Yeah, back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Peter Moore with the Grand Theft Auto tattoo reveal at, solidifying that GTA was coming to Xbox and for GTA 4. You remember that? It was like fucking 2006, 7,
Mm.
something like that. Those moments at E3, that's why I like Keeley gets a lot of shit, and I am definitely a corporate Keeley defender. I will admit that. I have a lot of bias in
Like him and
favor
his
of Keeley.
Muppets.
Yeah, I have a lot of nostalgia for Keeley back in the day with the on G4 and all that. But um we need events like his for
Mm.
people like that Splitgate guy to go and make an ass out of himself and to go out there and announce a game that you say it's this badass fucking we are the fucking shit, and then you go and show the game and it's like pastel color, and not to say there's anything wrong with that, but it's like it looks like the most typical generic shit. And it's funny, like go back and watch that live stream that we did. I think you'll see it on my face where I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, because I don't know anything about Splitgate. I
Yeah.
don't know
So
anything
I'd
about
see
the
I
art
did.
style.
That's where I was like grounding because I played that first game, but it was so natural. That's the thing because he was like, "Yeah, man," and he's like, "Oh."
As soon as you hear whatever, waking up, never know the Imagine Dragons, I go, oh, yeah. It's like it's you need those are the E3 moments, man. Like just having a bunch of trailers glued together and calling it a state of play or whatever. That's a digital presentation. Like the physical, tangible kind of event makes it so much more special, And I could rattle off the different. Uncharted 2, I think it was, whenever it they were trying to load into a game and it crashed or whatever. Like there's so many of those moments, those iconic fucking moments,
Oh, that was
man.
Uncharted 4.
Was it Uncharted
It was
4?
the market scene because they were like,
Okay.
"And here we go," and then nothing happened. Drake just stood there because they made a trophy out of it where you have to stand in that market when you actually play the game. But that's the type of thing. That's what you took. Like, I agree 100% with you because that's human. Because what that
Yep.
showed was that okay, that is actually like the game. That is the game, and I know that's the game because it's fucked up. But you can see it looks great and it's really ambitious, and that's the type of thing of like that that can't be faked. Like that's you trying to
Yep.
do it, and then they boot it, and then it, I believe, fixed itself in the end when they cycled it. So yeah, all for it because that human
I wish
aspect seems to be missing from a lot of these showcases.
I don't remember the specific event, but there was a dude who came out on stage and he was so nervous when he was presenting and he was like shaking. You could see his hand visibly like trembling. And he became kind of like this hero after that. It was like
Hmm.
this that's such a cool like those moments, man, where this guy, he obviously had such a fear of public speaking to a degree that's like I mean, I would imagine like my fear of fucking sharks or snakes, like he was trembling up there and he did it, got it done, and people were like fucking applauding their asses off. It was so sweet. And then he became like the hero of social media. I forget the name of that dude, but E3 had a lot of great moments like that. RIP E3.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, let me. I think those are all. I'm not doing any of this. I'm not fucking anything up. I'm slowing down. I'm gonna get to all of our stuff here. Make sure that we got all the questions answered. Make sure that. Okay. Yep. Those are all the questions. So we can head on into the news, my friend.
Cool.
Appreciate everybody for writing in. Appreciate everybody's questions. Um, Hopefully we delivered some decent answers there for you all. All right, now let's talk some news and video game discussion. Avatar. Frontiers of Pandora. It's getting a third person mode 2 years after the game came out. I I love Ubisoft. I hate Ubisoft. I got a lot of mixed feelings towards that company. They make some of my favorite games. They make some very, very bad games. But I think one of their biggest problems, more so than the inconsistent quality, is they make their games so much better so far after they release.
Yep.
Like if this would have been day one, third person, play Avatar in third person, it wouldn't have underperformed sales wise. If Star Wars Outlaws would have had the, all that stealth, like the insta fail shit with the stealth removed, it would have done a lot better. Like you can't roll these updates out a year later, 6 months later. Like have that there day one. And I think that you're seeing that with Assassin's Creed Shadows. And of course, Assassin's Creed is a much bigger name, but they've had great success with Assassin's Creed Shadows. And it's because they delayed it multiple times, made sure the game was right, made sure the game was on Steam, made sure it wasn't a buggy mess. Like they took all the proper steps to clean that shit up. Um, Avatar was a fine game. It was fine, but this needed to be there on day one.
Yeah, I will bite a little bit back. The Even with Shadows, man. Like I love it, enjoyed it. It even had stupid shit that it overlooked, like not being able to cycle from day and night, but you have specific objectives that need to be done. Like that's just it's trivial stuff that you've already fixed. Wait, that's a problem you've had in previous games that you also patched. That you've just like they're a clown of a company when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like their games look beautiful for the most part. You're going to get a ton of content and time played with them if that's what you want, but they have that stigma. Like there's so many people wisening up to it that just buy them 2 years later because
Yeah.
you'll get not only an incredible amount of content because you'll have the DLCs packaged with it, but it'll actually function in the way that you probably hope, and you'll be tolerant because it'll be cheaper. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to,
that is their DNA that they're building over there, and they are the only people to blame for that is themselves.
yeah. It's hard to feel sorry for them. There's no doubt about that. I mean, they're a humongous company with a lot of funding, a lot of backing financially. Like you gotta figure this shit out. So here's hoping. Did you see the whole thing where Yves Guillemot, his son, is taking over the other, like,
Something like he's
bro.
taking over like CEO position or something, or like some head position.
Yeah, so they have the two wings now. Remember where they split off into two, like all the big IP, they will be under like Yves Guillemot and his son will be, shepherding like all of the lesser known IP. As far as I'm aware, I could be mistaken a little bit on some of those details. I just remember seeing that and being like, yep, that is the most Ubisoft ass shit. But I was reading into it, and I think that the stipulation is if he fails, if the son fails to shepherd those properties and turn, a profit and have success with those financially, that I think Tencent then gets to take over that wing entirely, which it's like I'm sure that's kind of what they're betting on. Once again, I should have looked into that a little bit more before just saying that because I don't know if that's
That would make
1000%.
sense, but that would even if that's not one to one, that something like that is definitely being spoken about because it's like if we're pumping money into you and you look, man, you clearly generate money. You're a household name.
Hmm.
People know what Ubisoft is, but like China and Tencent don't settle for just good. Like they want the best. That is it. Like
Yeah.
they want as efficiently run companies as possible. And if they're because they bought a chunk of it, right? Fully, like a big massive percentage.
Well, yeah, they kind of split off and did a joint merger
Mm.
of sorts with Ubisoft and Tencent. Yeah.
So it's yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. Um, so yeah, don't be surprised if you start seeing Tencent's name being plastered over the next 10
Yeah,
years.
for sure. And that's the scary thing where I believe Tencent is heavily controlled by the CCP. Um, is that I believe that's the Chinese government. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, Chinese Communist Party. Yeah. And so that's definitely worrisome because it's not like freedom of speech doesn't necessarily fly exactly the same way. And you would definitely worry about some themes and certain shit like that being completely neutered from some of those Ubisoft games. Not like they're really touching on anything overly prescient, but I mean, you look at something like Watch Dogs, and it's like that Watch Dogs got into some dark shit with that first game. I wonder how much of that would be
So
greenlit.
what I have, because we'll talk about it just very briefly here. What I have noticed is that a lot of their grip of censorship for stuff when they're in hands with projects and stuff is usually live service, and like they don't want people mocking over like text chat. Like that's what they'll outright ban and stuff. I don't think they've done too much in the way of tweaking designs and stuff like that, because you look at like Marvel Rivals and stuff, they have a massive, you know, that's a Chinese company, right?
Yeah.
Um, they're not censoring anything that of that. Like it's just a lot of it is text based stuff. They don't want you talking bad about them, which yeah, that's still bad, of course. But
But that's also NetEase as well.
yeah.
The Marvel Rivals, it's not Tencent.
Mhm.
So NetEase operates a little bit more. They operate, I think, pretty much completely independently.
But I think
Whereas,
10 Cent is Riot though as well, right? Riot Games, which is
let me
that's what I'm also
look.
tying to, because the Marvel Rivals censors it, and I believe the Riot Games stuff censor it in a very similar fashion. And that's kind of where, because it's usually that
Yeah,
the kind of censorship that you're referring to is if you're trying to sell it in China, is when that will really start to hammer home down, like when they like that skulls and stuff like that don't fly, and depictions of death and stuff is very different. But when they're interacting with markets outside of it, they do to a degree have leniency, because they know that they're there to make money at the end of the day. So
yeah. See, yeah, Riot is fully owned by Tencent.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I obviously don't want Ubisoft to fall into Tencent's hands, of course. That's one of the things where like eh, you would have rather seen Microsoft get in. I don't know about that. Uh,
I'd just rather them get their
I
shit together, if I'm being honest. If I'll be brutally
yeah,
honest with this, I think they just need to trim as a company. I know people don't like hearing people lose jobs in it, but they are so bloatedly ran as a
yeah,
company. They kind of need to course correct, because they're on that right now. They keep going down this road that you will just be bought out because you can't be run, and then because it's going to be them running it, they're not going to get any flack for the layoffs because they're different. They're run by
yeah,
different companies, so they can turn around and present it in a different manner and get around it in ways and stuff like that. So they really do need to get their act together.
for sure. Well, speaking of getting your act together, no rest for the wicked might be skipping Xbox. So this was Thomas Mahler, the head of the studio over there. No
Moon
Moon?
Studios.
Moon Studio. Um, he was writing in a Discord for the game, and there's fans in the Discord, and he was talking about how right now they're prioritizing PlayStation, and they might get it out to Xbox at a later time, but right now the focus is on getting it to PS5. And he's like, we have to talk to Microsoft about future plans there. And I so Thomas Mahler has kind of made some controversial sort of headlines
Mm-hmm.
in recent months. He was the dude who there was some like bad reviews on Steam for the early access. He was like, "Please don't do that. We're at jeopardy of our game being shut down if we continue getting bad reviews." Like, bro, the fuck are you saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
a crazy statement. But at the same time, like this is not a new thing at all. Like a lot of games skip Xbox on the smaller scale, and that is the thing to keep in mind with this team. They are a smaller team. They don't have a publisher yet. I don't know if they're going to have a publisher. It seems like they're trying to keep this thing independent as possible. So yeah, I mean, like skipping Xbox, and he said he like we're gonna try to get it on Xbox eventually, um, but skipping Xbox at launch, I don't like. uh, yeah, that's a lot of companies, a lot of independent companies do that. There's you only have so many resources, so you're gonna prioritize PC and PS5 and maybe Switch 2, and then Xbox. Like that's every company in the world is doing that exact same thing that's independent. Some independent companies have a larger pool of resources and can get their game everywhere day one, and other companies do not. So I guess they kind of fall into that bucket, especially when you're looking at them saying, hey, we might have to pull funding for this thing. Like it doesn't seem like things are necessarily great over there.
No, and what this also smells like to me as well was, you know, have a headline like that because that kind of makes that's going to get Xbox players up in arms, being like, "Don't skip our platform," blah blah blah. Can kind of then twist. They can then approach Microsoft and be like, "Well, we'll happily have like a Game Pass deal. Throw us a
Mm,
bag of that way. You clearly have all these people that want it. That your market size is not it, which it isn't. I've seen so many people try and defend that, and with like the Final Fantasy sale kind of thing, of being like,
yeah, you can't
you
defend that.
look, man, like it's cool that it's selling. It's selling okay on Xbox, but Xbox has such a small install base. What needs to be kept in mind that yeah, it's incomparable, and that's evident because it doesn't. None of that is breaking into the overall charts when you're equating into every platform. They don't make a splash for sales.
Yeah, that was really scary when I saw that because like with it not being in the top 20, I was like, oh shit. Final Fantasy 16 probably barely cracked 100,000 copies sold on Xbox, or maybe not even. Because top 20, like that is when you get down to the bottom of that list, you're those games are barely pushing over 100K per, because you're talking about games that are like 5, 6 months old that are still ahead of it. Um,
And there is
and the
there is tons and tons of factors. It is of it the big overhanging factor is that is a smaller install base on top of it being a niche genre, which it is on a system that doesn't really adhere to that genre. On top of that, so it's a niche genre on a platform that doesn't really sell them particularly well. You look at Atelier. I know people are pissed that that next game isn't coming, but it's like, look, man, they just it's so hard. The reason that you see Sega supporting it is because they got so many of them deals done via Game Pass. They got a
yeah,
massive amount of money to pull them over. And then obviously the final thing I'd add is Final Fantasy 16 is it's not a new game. It's been out for a few years now. A lot of
yeah,
people
but
that if
Stellar
they
Blade,
really, really, really wanted it, they would have they would have jumped ship and bought it.
yeah, you look at something like Stellar Blade though, it comes to PC last month and it goes from 148 on the charts to number 5. Then you look at something like Cyberpunk and it came out in 2020, comes to Switch last
But
month, goes from 400 on the charts
they're both
to
desirable genres. On top of Stellar Blade being heavily modifiable, it suits a PC audience a hell of a lot more than a console audience.
yeah, I get it to some degree, but it's you there's no way of really spinning it. Like Final Fantasy 16 not being in the top 20
No, it's a
sales, like
failure. It's a
that's
commercial failure on Xbox.
yeah, I'm not even necessarily saying that. It's just that scares me personally because like I not cracking top 20. Listen, if you didn't crack top 10, like sure, whatever, even top 15, whatever. But like being on the list, it's like, okay, well, at least it's pushing. I don't know if that's sold 100,000 copies on Xbox. Like it's Xbox still has 30 million owners, for the Series X and S. Like that's a crazy low attach rate. Um, it's worrisome whenever you see this Thomas Mahler saying this and a lot of other independent developers choosing not to put their games on Xbox. And like I guess the solution, and maybe he's looking at it where we're not going to go 1.0 until 2027. By then, Xbox won't even really be a thing. Like it'll be a, this PC hybrid thing, and we can just put it on Steam, and you'll be able to access our game on Steam through your Xbox PC hybrid. So it's like we wouldn't have to go through the extra effort to put it on, quote unquote, an Xbox because your Xbox will be able to run PC games and be able to run Steam. So maybe he's just looking at it that way, where it's like a simple kind of fix all solution. Um, yeah, I have no idea. I guess that's the only silver lining I could really see there. Or maybe they get a Game Pass bag.
Hmm.
Hellraiser got revealed. Saber, Saber and their never-ending well of licensed IP. They have a fucking ton of IP over in their development pipeline. They got Knights of the Old Republic. They have the Turok. They have Jurassic Park. They have Avatar, and now they have Hellraiser as well. And yeah, it seems like this is kind of exactly what people want from a Hellraiser game. It's a single player story driven game, but it kind of looks badass. It's fast paced. It's gory as shit. It's it's a first person shooter, which is right in their wheelhouse. I think that this is probably going to be pretty damn good. Listen, I'm thinking like a 7 out of 10. I don't think that this is going to be a remarkable video game, but kind of in that RoboCop space, where it's just a cool throwback to a classic IP that doesn't get a whole lot of attention, a whole lot of love, and yeah, a whole lot of nudity as well in this trailer. Not like, full blown nudity, but um yeah, they're definitely doing the whole 1980s, 1990s sex sells campaign here, which is that's exactly the demographic that you're appealing to. That
Yeah.
is horror 101.
Well, it's also the whole point of the series as well. Is what that spends the story with. It is nice to also, because what I was sick of for a very long time was obviously a lot of these horror, like the Texas Chainsaw and stuff like that. It was all multiplayer, PvP, VP, VE, and stuff like that. Where it's we just needed more single player stuff, man. Because all of them, like the Killer Clowns from Outer Space, they'll be dead within a year. Like the ones that haven't fallen, like the Evil Dead game that's been wound down support, Texas Chainsaws being, I believe, wound down and stuff, like they just don't have legs whatsoever.
Yeah.
Um, because you have it's like trying to compete with Fortnite almost, because you have something that already does that, which is Dead by Daylight. Like even if you don't like it, they not only beat everybody to the race, but it's why Hellraiser got pulled and stuff like that. Like they had Hellraiser in Dead by Daylight. They grab all of them horror IPs and put them in. So it's very, very difficult to break out into that space.
Yeah, man, I'm kind of pumped for this. I'm not like a Hellraiser guy. I don't think I've ever watched the movies or anything like that. Or if I have, it's been so long ago that I don't really remember at all. So I'm pumped to kind of jump into this in the same way that like Hogwarts. I jumped into Hogwarts without really much Harry Potter knowledge, and I think that that's the great thing about these licensed games is they can get out there to more people outside of the you know, locked in fan base and appeal to a wider audience, and then also appeal to the people who have been wanting a fucking Hellraiser game, which I don't, maybe that's a larger pool of people than I would assume.
Did he make? Is this like his first game he's made since Jericho as well, or did
Clive
he
Barker,
did he make another one in between that?
yeah, I really don't know. I mean,
Because if that's
yeah,
the case,
nothing that
I'm
comes
not
to,
surprised it took him this long to come back. Because boy, that was rough. Not only to play, but it was very uh, received roughly as well.
yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but we're in a weird period where there's like this definite 80s,
Mm-hmm.
90s revival and kind of revival in a much bigger way for much smaller IP, which is interesting. It's not these aren't like super duper mainstream. things, but they're getting a lot of fucking money and love poured into them. So you love to see that, man. So shout out to the old Pinhead. All right. Next up, let's talk some numbers. Let's talk those numbers. We got the sales report that came in the top 20 best-selling games. This is reported on by Circana, and as well Switch 2. I mean, we've already talked about this, but Switch 2 is the fastest-selling video game console of all time. Um, so shout out to Nintendo on that front. But let's talk about the specific video games that are topping the charts. Elden Ring Night Rain is at number one. Death Stranding 2 is at two. Number three is Mario Kart World. Keep in mind that is only the physical copies. The digital copies are not accounted for. So this is number three with just physical copies, which is fucking insane. It would be number one by a mile if it was accounting for digital as well. And it's not accounting for the bundle either because that's digital. So this would be far and away number one. Number four is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Number five is Stellar Blade. Number six is Forza Horizon 5. Number seven is MLB The Show 25. Eight is Minecraft. Nine is GTA 5. 10 is Rune Factory. 11 Split Fiction. 12 EA Sports FC. 13 Elden Ring. 14 NBA 2K25. 15 Red Dead 2. 16 Oblivion. 17 Battlefront 2. 18 Cyberpunk. 19 Shadows, Assassin's Creed Shadows. 20 WWE 2K25. Anything in there stand out to you out the gate, my friend?
Did you say Rune Factory?
I think so. Yeah, Rune
Damn.
Factory, Gardens of Azuma,
What was that ranking at? Out of curiosity.
number 10.
That is mind blowing. I didn't know the Rune Factory had that much pull. That's for the month, right? Not the year. Oh,
Yeah, the month.
okay,
Yeah.
that makes a little bit more sense then. But yeah, even then, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's good to see Death Stranding doing so well. Um, whether or not you like it or you hate it, you said it was third, right?
It was second.
Second. So
Hmm.
second, yeah, that's incredible. That's really really strong. Whether or not it will keep them numbers up as the year goes on, we'll see. But man, second place on one platform, gotta tip your hat to it
Oh, yeah, for sure.
for something
So,
so niche as well. Because there's
yeah,
people that would have tapped into that first game and be like, nope, I'm good.
I'm looking at this Rune Factory game, and so it came to Switch 2 at launch. I'm looking to see if the full game was on the card or not.
Mm.
Because I'm really curious about
Because
some of that
some
data.
of them have been really heavily underperforming when they've been on them key cards, and others seem to have been okay from what I've seen
Yep,
people reporting on it. So it still does feel like it's a case by case scenario rather than just one or the other.
it's complete on that card. There's not like I listen, man. That's the only reason I would assume that's one of the I'm not I shouldn't say the only. That's one of the big reasons why that game is on the top 10. And Cyberpunk as well jumped from 450th in the 400s last month to in the top 20 this month. Like both games complete on the card. I know that the media and the analysts, the data analytics data and analytics people. That's my data and
Data
analytics.
analysts.
Yeah, the data and analytics people out there, they don't really like conceding that point that it does make a difference in sales. Like it absolutely does for that audience. Um, the Nintendo fan base, they still buy their physical media. Their physical media sales still outperform digital. Um,
Mm.
Makes a difference. Put that full game on the cart if you're releasing it on the Switch too.
Yeah, it still just never made sense to me for a lot of the things as well, especially if it can fit on it, why opt for that? Because you're already
Yeah.
paying for that cart and the physical print. Like it, yeah, it's just puzzling. Very
If Cyber
strange.
Yeah, if Cyberpunk can do it, any of those other motherfuckers can do it. Um, yeah, and I mean Mario, like that's an astonishing feat to be number three on that top 20 list with just your physical copy. That is an absolute anomaly. And then also, of course, Stellar Blade jumping up to five with just the PC audience. Really impressive shit. Um, yeah, and then Death Stranding 2, I assume probably sold about a million copies, 1.5 million, something like that. Definitely not bad at all for being on one platform. Um, not I don't think it's going to be some mass hit. I think that probably a lot of people who bought into Death Stranding 1 are not buying into Death Stranding 2. Um, but I mean, still number 2. Like that's a big number for a game that's like you said that niche. So, shout out some games doing some numbers over there. Some and Elden Ring Night Rain rolling in the dough. I that game might end up climbing pretty high on the best-selling games of the year list, which I I was wrong about that one, man. I didn't think the FromSoft audience was going to be so uh you know ravenous. So I didn't think there was going to be so much fervor behind supporting Elden Ring Night Rain, but
I have a
pretty
hot
much anything they
take with
release.
that. I don't think it's a lot of that core audience. I think it's a lot of the new blood with Elden Ring that came in with that Elden Ring name as their first. Because the people I've spoken to as well, who are playing it and loving it, on my friends list, they never touched Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Demon Souls. None of them. None of them appealed to them, but Elden Ring did, and this is very much appealing to them. So I think it's a lot of that core audience that's making that grow as big as it is heavily being pushed by that brand new audience that they found with the open world formula.
I mean, listen, dude.
They
They
cracked
they
it.
got a yeah, they found the code and they
Hmm.
cracked that motherfucker wide open. They are doing something really impressive over there. So shout out. Next up, we got The Outer Worlds 2. This was probably one of the craziest pieces of news I've ever seen in my life. I can't really think of anything that has happened like this ever in the history of ever, where a price gets officially confirmed to be going up and then they drop that price back down before the product ever releases. Like that is an absolute anomaly, especially in the game space. Um, listen, I mean, you kind of gotta shout out people for being vocal about this, and also you got to shout out people for voting with their wallet and not pre-ordering this thing. And I assume the pre-order sales were in the fucking toilet, and they were like, "Listen, we we can't." I really I want to know the thing I'm the most curious about is who was the person that made the move. Was it someone at Obsidian that went
Yes.
to Phil Spencer and was like, listen, you got to get in front of fucking Satya Nadella
Yep.
and tell him you're going to kill our game
Mhm.
if this happens. And I really would love to know that person, whoever it was at Obsidian, whoever it was at, you know, let's say it was somebody at Platinum or whatever the case may be of those different games that they had releasing this holiday season that were, going up to $80. Who the fuck was it that had the balls to make that move? That's the behind the scenes shit that we'll probably never know that I'm so curious to find out.
Yeah, it would be something you hear when that person leaves the company several years down the line. I would be 100% willing to put money on that it is someone at Obsidian, probably a certain somebody that got tweeted at as to why are you doing this, and then they turned around and was like, "Hey, man, it's not us making it.
Yeah.
We don't make the calls." And that's they've seen the fallout that was left with that, with a lot of people being pissed off, and then attributing that to probably not the strongest pre-orders numbers coming in. I don't. I'm going to be honest as well. I think the damage has been done. I think
Yep.
it's a positive to a degree, and you can probably. I've always said I'm more cynical in outlooks and stuff like that. I don't see this as a win, personally, because what this is how I described it on the Discord. They've moved the cone forward and then back. You've not gained anything. You've just not been screwed. That is it. You've
It
not
just looks pathetic.
exactly. You've
Yeah.
not won really. Like because you're back to square one. Like it's maybe a very negative outlook on it. It's good that it happened, but it's not really a win. It's just them going, we can't do that yet. That's what this is. We all right. We've jumped the gun on that. We'll
Yeah.
maybe
It's
look at
just
this
them.
next year, next holiday season. Maybe people have swallowed it a little bit more, um, and they'll be okay with that.
Yeah, it's just them going, these motherfuckers ain't got money like that. Like we're selling this to an audience who can't afford this shit. We're at $70, we're selling games to an audience that can't afford it. Like uh, they're dude, you'd start jumping up to $80, even $70. I start looking at my purchases a little bit differently. I'm like, is that really worth 70? Is that and if we go to 80, it's like, bro, unless you're talking GTA, unless you're talking Red Dead 3, unless you're talking fucking The Last of Us 3, I, I I'm looking majorly side-eyed at something like The Outer Worlds 2 at $80. The Outer Worlds 1 was my favorite game of the year in 2019. I love that game. I love Obsidian. The Alpha Protocol's one of my favorite games ever. They don't make $80 games. In my opinion. Everybody's going to have a different opinion on that. In my opinion, they don't make $80 games.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll be right there championing that as well. They don't. In my
yeah.
opinion, they make very, especially this new breed of Obsidian where they've carved out their niche of RPG. They took obviously with what they learned from New Vegas. They've scaled it down big time. That's not an open world massive game. Like it's a hell of a lot shorter than other open world games. So yeah, you could probably balance that out by turning around the writings a little bit better and stuff like that. But no, not 80, man. I'm sorry.
No.
Like I'm even
Yeah.
looking at it at 60, and it's
Right.
something that I'm looking at. I don't plan on buying it, and I'll say that now. Like it's not this. What they need to understand as well with this industry is that there is so many things coming out. So the
Yep.
moment you have any amount of doubt creep in, because this is like the Kingdom Come 2 still, I've not purchased it because where it released. There's other things that pulled my interest, and it's like it doesn't matter if I love an IP. There's only so much money to go around. Stuff will fall on that sword, and that's unfortunate.
Well, kind of a positive on this though. I don't know if you see this. The disc is
Mm.
now they're actually putting a disc in the Xbox version. At first it was just a disc for
And
the
Ninja
PS5
Gaiden.
version. Yeah, at first it was just a disc for the PS5 version of Ninja Gaiden and the Outer Worlds 2, and now they're putting a disc in the Xbox cases as well when they ship those out. So that, once again, it is kind of the thing of you did something really kind of shitty, and now you're doing the thing that you should have done all along. But at least on that front, positive on your end, when you pick those games up, if you collect them, and who knows if it's going to have full data on them, but at
this
least you'll have
is
something
the
that.
thing. Even whenever there's a positive tied to Xbox, there's always the we'll have all the data. This is also a conflict of identity because you want to make it a PC, so you're gonna go, oh, like game codes, no game discs, game code. Like you need to just pick a lane. Like just constant mixed messaging from the company just creates frustration and annoyance between
But hey, at least
consumers.
on your end, you'll have something you can sell.
Yeah,
You have something you can
when
you
the
have
when
an
the
actual.
brand goes down in flames.
Well, yeah. I mean, or if there's just a world where, say, that media isn't supported for their
Mm,
next iteration, it's like, well, shit, I got thousands of dollars sitting right here behind me, and I'm gonna take a year of my life and sell all this shit individually and make, because like if you, I'm not trying to count your pockets, but if you were to, really take some time and list that shit on eBay,
mm,
like individually,
yeah,
bro, you could make a good amount of money off that. You'd have to strike early before, it gets to the point where it's like everybody is doing it. But you'd be able to read the writing on the wall before it got to that point. So, yeah, we'll see,
absolutely.
man.
But yeah, it's again, it is a positive, so good on them. But come on, man.
Yeah. It's Did you see that Sandfall visited Square? They
I
went to
did.
they also visited Kojima.
I
They
did.
were over there
He
at the
signed. I didn't know he had a wall where the people sign their shit. That's so cool. I like that.
yeah,
Tip of the hat to Kojima, man. Man is
absolutely.
class.
So much swagger in that little body, man. That
Mm.
dude has so much fucking charisma just pouring out of his ears. Every little smirk he makes, it's like, yeah, that motherfucker knows he's got it. Um, but yeah, shout out to Sandfall over there at Square. I thought that this was a little bit more interesting. I'm sure it's nothing to be overly looked into or really picked apart with a fine tooth comb, but I don't think that's the word at all. But it's people talk about wanting to see a Expedition 33 styled Final Fantasy game and wanting to see that kind of turn-based combat return to Final Fantasy. And I look at this and I'm like, well, there's your answer, Square.
Yeah.
You hire
You
those
don't
motherfuckers
exactly.
just
You
like,
don't even need to make it yourself. They already made it.
you know,
Set them on it because they've done it in the past. They've partnered with people. Um, God, who's the Neo developers? Team Ninja, right?
yeah, Team Ninja.
They did Stranger of Paradise, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And that's the type of thing. Like, there's an appeal to like diehard turn-based like Final Fantasy fans, of course, because it isn't. It's very much Team Ninja, but it's they went out and they grabbed somebody who had that because they wouldn't have been able to make that themselves in the way that it was. That it would take them to shift their DNA and morph it to fit that. So just go out and partner with them, and that's what what a lot of people are obviously hoping with this, because it wasn't just the fact that they went and visited it. The headlines, and it's obviously take it with a grain of salt, but if it is true that they're talking ideas is what they were talking about. They were bouncing ideas off of each other. So it's not just like a visit of like, oh yeah, cool, thanks. They 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 are talking on a little bit more of a deeper level, which could then indicate, yeah, I would love to see Sandfall get given the opportunity to make a turn based Final Fantasy game. That'd be
Literally
incredible.
just make the exact same game, but make one of the characters have spiky hair and slap a fucking Final Fantasy logo on it and ship it. I mean, it's really not. I don't think it's going to be the deeper conversation should go as follows. Somebody at Square says, "You made that game for, let's say, $50 million. Yeah. Can you make one of those for us for $50 million? Yeah." Handshake out the door. Like it should be a simple fuck because they're not going to be able to the game that people want Square to make, Square is not going to be able to make that internally for a cheap price point. That's
No,
once again, they're not going to be satisfied with the return. It's not going to meet expectations if they do it the Square way. So give it to somebody who can do it their way for a fraction of the price in doing it your way.
no, scratch each other's backs. Like this is what I don't like. Why there's not more intelligent thinking on this degree? Because let Sandfall cover that development side. What's Square Enix known for? Fucking marketing, man. They slay in marketing. Have them market the game. Have them cover the marketing budget, and then write up a contract on what divvies up the profits when the game launches. That's that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I shit, dude, you could cover the entire development of it because it's gonna be the same amount of fucking money you put into like Octopath or fucking Final Fantasy Tactics Evilise or like I'm not trying to, it just seems like Square is so out. They don't have that part under wraps. And their budgeting just seems to be fucking mind blowing. Like where those how they find that amount of money to put into games and then not get returned. No matter how well a game sells, they're never satisfied. So to my like to the layman's eye, I look at that and go, how much are you spending on these things,
No, they
guys?
spend
Like,
absurd amount. They've always ran absurd budgets, even before the merger, when it was SquareSoft and then Enix. The reason they merged together is because I can't remember which one it is. It was one of the two that were struggling really badly, and when they formed together, they kind of stabled out a little bit. But there's so many projects under their belt that were mismanaged all the way back then, even when they were in their quote unquote golden years and stuff like that. They've always just in the most bluntest terms, pissed money up the wall, like in
Mhm.
everything. Like they just don't. They do that, and then they're like, okay, because we've put that much money in, that will then 100% mean that we will sell the most copies ever, kind of thing. They never have realistic expectations. I don't think anyone's told them that it's not 1998, 2000 anymore, where they were huge system sellers. I think they live back then still.
Yeah, without a doubt. Um, well, speaking of living back then, Battlefield 6 got a trailer. This is the game that EA wants to sit in the hands of 100 million different players around the world, living in the glory years where there were only two big games that released every year, and you were one of them, and everybody flocked into your Battlefield. But I don't know if, listen, I mean, the trailer looks cool. It doesn't really show us anything. I think like 10 minutes of gameplay leaked out right before we started recording. I saw that break, but I didn't have a chance to look at it. But I mean, this trailer, it definitely, it shows your destruction, and it kind of gives you an idea for I don't know, kind of destructive sandboxes that they're trying to build into their games, which they've always been known for. 100 million people is a little bit fucking insane. I don't know. And I know they're talking about lifetime sales. They're not talking about, or maybe not even sales per se. Like there could be a future where they free to play this
Yeah,
thing, or I don't know what pipeline or what sort of plan they have in place. Obviously, it'll go to Game Pass. It'll be on EA Play. So 100 million, regardless of all of that, seems just ludicrous in terms of expectations. And yeah, uh, when I move, you move, but not like that. So I think that it will do well, like in terms of big games this holiday season. It's launching in October. I think it will do really well in October. Of course, it's fucking Battlefield, but really well. Once again, Final Fantasy VII did really well. Final Fantasy 16 did really well, in my opinion, but not
mm,
Square's opinion. What the fuck opinion is EA about to have if their expectations are at 100 million?
exactly. Look at Titanfall, that fell, even though that's well regarded and sold pretty well. Um, Look, man, 2042 was a really, really bad showing from them. I don't know what the numbers of it were, but the community I definitely know did not like it one bit. There was not a. There were obviously probably fans, but for the majority of people, they were not defending any amount of that game whatsoever. Like there was a massive letdown and disappointment that was their showing coming back to modern based conflict. Um, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't even believe it's going to hit holiday. If I'm going to be honest, I don't even think it's going to hit. What was it? October? They said.
Yeah,
No, I don't. I
delay.
don't. I again, I'll believe it when I see it. It's the thing of the amount of stuff that's trickled out of this, and you don't know obviously what's 100% true, but there is so much internal strife with the developers, and obviously the hearing that 100 million is the goal. There's a lot of people being like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like our jobs are, because that's the thing as well. Like imagine if I ran this channel and I invited you in today, and I was like, right, by the end of the year, we make quality content, we enjoy it, people enjoy it. 300,000 subscribers.
Right.
And you're sitting there and you know that because it's your job, you have to ride that shit out. It's so hard to jump
Yeah.
ship. I know people turn around and go, try and find other way. It's so hard because other places are getting cut. So they've got to sit there with that knowledge of that's a Damocles blade hanging over their head. They themselves want more than anything for that 100 million because then they're safe. They will be able to continue making. But it's so incredibly cruel to set an expectation that high, and that they have to sit there and basically be like, "Well, shit, most of us aren't going to be here next year, probably."
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of pulling the EA with my startup channel to myself, going, you got fucking 6 months, 5,000 subscribers, get it done, bitch, work. Chill out, boss. Talking to myself. No, it is true,
We
man.
need
It's so
HR in here
sad.
now.
Yeah, where's the HR part of my brain? How do I access that office? Oh God. Yeah. I feel like I'm probably decent to work with in terms of partnerships because I don't really
Yes, boss.
it's
Yes.
yeah. That is so fucking funny. No, but it's I think but see, this is the type of bullshit. Why the fuck am I patting myself on the back? But I for me, this is the type of boss I would want, where it's like you internalize all your own shit, deal with it your own way, and don't make that other people's problems. You know what I mean? Like you handle your own shit, and of course, like you and I, we have to talk about, if we need to pivot and change this or that based on numbers, like that's obvious. But in terms of like we got to get to this. I don't think we've ever had a fucking conversation where it's like, but by this point, we got to get this subscriber amount. We got to get this viewership. We've of course been like, damn, we dipped from when we changed the name, we dipped from 700 1,000 pretty consistently to barely ever
No, there's
cracking
never
that shit.
been
It's like,
like
what the fuck?
hard hitting goals because I also just believe I don't think that's positive or healthy. Some word of that, like setting it like a really, it's fine to hit small like milestone goals, like you said, like I think 1,000 subscribers, that's realistic.
Yeah, the
It'd
only
be
reason
different if
people
you
ever
came in
want
and was like,
that.
yeah, 10K. I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? We
Yeah,
like no. So yeah, like that. Yeah, and it's that thing with like EA, like 100 million, man. I get it if that, like you said, with that, if that's lifetime, but what? Why are you even talking about that like so far down the line? Like that shouldn't be, just try and get a positive launch more than anything, and the numbers will
totally.
follow. That's what needs to happen. Deliver the best product, and them, you wouldn't need to set them numbers because them numbers would just
Right.
come. Because you look at, even when something isn't 100% polished, if it's been built creatively and passionately, you look at PUBG. PUBG was a mess when it came out. It fucking dominated. I know it's kind of like striking hot when that battle royale buzz was hard, but like people are yearning for Battlefield to come back. People want that feeling of Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3, but it's just not been delivered. It's been morphed into whatever the hell they keep putting out, and people are struggling to find footing with it.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not a Battlefield guy. I'm not really a competitive shooter guy at all. But every time I look at Battlefield compared to COD, I'm like, damn, Battlefield looks way cooler. Like, there's something just immediately appealing about the destruction and like all of those ideas that they're trying to roll out. To me, is like, yeah, that looks way more appealing. Um, I don't know, like beyond that, I don't know. Do they have strong campaigns? I think I played one where you play as a cop or some shit way back in the
Yeah,
day.
that was a hard one.
Oh,
Hardline, I think, got a little bit shit on a little bit too hard. It's the thing when you also shift developer, like I said, DNA shifts. So that was Visceral that made that. That wasn't the usual team. So they put their own spin on it, and people really didn't like it. But their campaigns have been fine. Like Battlefield, Bad Company 1 and 2 are like iconic campaigns that people love, with that misfit band of people. Battlefield 3 was very gritty for its time. Battlefield 4 is kind of, it served the purpose. But yeah, since then they've really struggled on that single player front. I think with Battlefield 1 and 5, they were basically just like mission. It wasn't a campaign in a traditional sense. It's like scenarios kind of thing, like what they did with Battlefront, ironically, which is also EA and Dice.
right.
It's yeah,
Yeah. Well, hey man, here's hoping. I guess that's all we can really do is hope for the best for the success of Battlefield, and hopefully a lot of people are still employed this time next year.
yep, absolutely.
Well, dude, let's do some video game drafting real quick. I'm gonna take a piss. We can pause,
Cool.
and then we're gonna get into our August game draft session. All right, it is time to draft the video games that are releasing in August. Loon and I are dueling it out to the death to see who can pick the better games for the month of August. the year shall be 2025. Are you ready? And we'll also get the results for our July draft next week. Still got a couple games left to release, so we'll hit this week, and then we'll finalize the results for last month's draft next week. So lock in, everybody.
I remember doing this. I don't remember doing it myself. Did you do the website handling last time?
We didn't do it at all. I put in the website. Remember, after we did the draft, I went and
That was it.
recreated
I
it
knew there
through
was
this.
some
Yeah.
like we had encountered this, and I was like, I don't remember doing this at all.
Yeah.
But we do so much of that. Like I was just like, you know what? I'm probably just forgetting something. So I have no idea how this works. We will be feeling it out as we go along. But it's a cool setup. Obviously, we each have a studio each. We'll be
Yep.
fighting, like you said.
Yes, sir. Picking seeing who can pick the best games releasing in August. And this is determined by Open Critic, not Metacritic, but it's essentially the same shit. So it's just a way to talk about upcoming games. This is the end of the month. Let's talk about the games that are coming out next month. And draft it out. Little fun topic.
Yep.
Ain't harming nobody. All right, let's go. I think I'm on the board first. I think you went first last month. I will take Mafia the Old Country as my first selection. And I don't think you'll have to pick it for me. I think I can go and click draft game,
We will
and
try it.
then it should update, hit refresh on your thing, and it might have my game already in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect, perfect. So Mafia, man, I'm a mega Mafia fan. Played through all the games. Love each and every single one of them, even three. I know people have some hate on three. I get it. The open world was a little bit bland, but all their open worlds are a little bit bland. The activities in three were a little bit bland, but all the activities are a little bit bland. Listen, what we're in Mafia for is the damn story. The story in Mafia, those games have such great stories, man. They're so much better than a lot of the open world, crime sandbox at that time. You didn't really have games that were hitting this hard with their narratives. Especially Mafia 1 back in the day. Like it dog walked anything Grand Theft Auto was doing narratively, or Saints Row, and which Saints Row was 360, but it was so much better than those games from a narrative standpoint. And then I think that kind of remains true. And I'm just pumped to see what they have going on with the knife combat, and some of the new features that they're introducing here for the old country. And I like that they're scaling it back, making it a $50 more linear game. And yeah, I hope there's just a little bit of juice left in the squeeze for this franchise. So Mafia the Old Country is going to be the first game that I select for Big Silv Studios Productions.
Yes, it's great to see Mafia come back. It being a little bit worrying with how free was perceived. It could have gone the way of Saints Row and stuff like that, where there was just like, okay, well, we'll try something else then. But thankfully, Mafia's still with us.
Yeah, and I got to give Take Two a little bit of credit for that. They will stick with some shit. Like I mean, listen, they totally canned Private Division, which was such a heartbreaker with Roller Drome being delisted, and now I think it's back relisted. But anyways, they will kill some shit, but they're sticking with BioShock, they're sticking with Mafia, they're sticking with some things that might not necessarily set the world on fire sales wise. So shout out Mafia. I hope you do well.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Metal Gear Triangle Snake Eater is uh is coming out next month, right?
Yes, sir.
I believe I will be taking this. I didn't know that it has all the little statistics as well.
Yeah, like
Percent
projected points and
published, counterpicked, draft position, hype factor.
yeah. Yeah, and we're not going to be doing any of the counter picking and all that. There's no real reason to do that for a monthly draft, but um yeah, Metal Gear, man, cannot wait to play that. I'm super pumped to dive into that one.
Yeah, it's nice to see. I've seen I've seen so many with it being obviously just around the corner. There's been, as you would expect, that resurfacing of old Konami beef, as it were, with people digging that corpse back up with Kojima and stuff. And it's just like, can we just? Because I've seen a lot of negativity swirling around it. Can we just like enjoy that it's coming out? Like, it's great to have Metal Gear back. even if it's not got him. Like he obviously designed all this stuff. It's just polishing it up. Like I think we spoke the last video we did. It's always going to be very unfairly judged whoever picks it up. But
Mm.
I personally would be all for somebody else trying to take a crack at the series. I know like you're definitely more of a I'd rather see a new IP and stuff.
Yep.
But like man, we don't get enough espionage and stuff like that. Like it would be a real shame to have a series like this go because there isn't really anything else like it. It would be different if there was like a dime a dozen of these. It'd be like, yeah, sure. Um, just want
Yeah.
more crazy shit that like that you see from these types of games. You know,
Right, yeah, and I mean with no Splinter Cell on the market,
yeah.
no, siphon filter, there's really it's a totally open space right now. So hopefully the Metal Gear can come back in some form or fashion outside of just remakes and remasters. So we'll see. But I'm pumped for 3. I'm pumped to dive into that remake. Cannot wait. But I think you're on the board again. I think it's Snake Draft.
Oh, so I pick another one. Before we
Yep.
continue, before I get too deep in, am I timestamping each of these entries, or are we just doing the
No, no,
draft? Okay,
no.
thank God.
Just the draft. Yeah.
Whew.
No, God no.
Right. Well, hmm. I'm gonna take because I am excited to finally get my hands on this dude. Blacksmith Wukong. I know this is what do you call it? It's not
Port.
technically a new release. It's just coming elsewhere. But
Mm.
yeah, no, I was really disappointed when it was kind of like being alluded to. Yeah, it could be coming, and then it didn't, and then it kind of went up in the air, and then it just died. The it was just like yeah, it's not coming, and it's just like well, that's kind of disappointing because it did look really creative, and on top of that, I was really interested to see what a Chinese based studio could do because there was so much people probably forget about it now because obviously it's come out and proven itself. There was so much doubt about this game whether or not they could hit the level of quality that they were displaying. Um, can it look that good? Will it actually play that good? We're kind of seeing that kind of bubble up again with what Crimson Desert, right?
Yep,
Coming out
yep.
later this year. There's a lot of doubting going on with that, but there's a lot of people that have supposedly got their hands on it and are like, no, it's actually delivering on it. It kind of tanks in, in certain areas, but you kind of expect that with what it's trying to do. But yeah, this looks incredible, man. This looks so fun. Did you play this out of curiosity? Did you give it a whirl?
No,
Or
I was gonna pick up the physical release, but once again, it came out in December, and I was just like, I'm good. I don't feel like playing anything in December. I don't know what it is about the December blues, but I think it's kind of Souls adjacent. And I'm just like,
yeah, it is.
I don't want to roll around with stamina bars, but
Not to
um,
drag it out. Have you seen Wu Chang's numbers? What it's
well,
doing?
100
Holy,
like
I like. I
60,000
was
concurrent.
like being. I was in the camp of like. I think it'll do okay. You know, it looks good. Didn't expect it to hit them. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It's from China as well, right? Wu
I
Chang.
won't lie. I don't know about that one.
Yeah. But I mean, dude, the Chinese market supports the shit out of their games that are developed in, you know, that come from China. So, but I'm not sure. Wu Chang might have been developed elsewhere. But yeah, it's getting crazy support over there.
I can't find
So
it.
you took. Oh, they're probably not going to let you take it because it's a game that already came out.
No. Come on, guys. Sad face.
Which yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I'll make sure to remove those from the next one. Um, yeah, that makes sense.
I need
We
to
should probably be talking about new shit.
I need to pick something then, don't I? Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, oh, but they're fine with Gears of War Reloaded. Okay, guys.
Yeah, I guess remaster's a little bit different than just a straight up port.
Splitting hairs. I'll take Gears then. Boo.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I might pick up the physical copy of Gears and just to have it as like a novelty thing. Like that's really weird that a Gears game is gonna be in a PlayStation case. Like that's so fucking bizarre. So
I
I might grab it for that, but I don't really have much desire to play through it, honestly.
Dude, times are changing because like I'm playing through Death Stranding now, as you're well aware. So every time you obviously boot that game up, you see Sony Interactive Entertainment as the very first thing that rolls, which is like, well, that's kind of gimmicky and stuff. But yeah, you get further in the game and there's PlayStation branding in there, like literal. You can throw a PlayStation, which seems comical that that's in a game on an Xbox. Just like, yeah, that's there was so much defense on keeping your product on your platform and being very defensive over its branding, and it seems like times are changing where that's very much loosening as of late.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
Um, it's just weird times that we live in.
for sure. But
So, what's your
yeah,
next pick?
I'll take Lost Solicide with my next selection here. Let me refresh this so that I can pick it. Lost Solicide, come on over to Big Sylph Studios. We're going to be doing great things over here with you, Mr. Solicide. I This is one obviously looks very Devil May Cry coded, very Final Fantasy coded. A lot of that DNA lives in this game. Totally fine with me. Both great franchises that I've enjoyed games inside of, and I it's been in development for so damn long that I'm just curious. Like, there's a part of me that definitely thinks this will probably slip because it's slipped many times before. It was supposed to come out in like 2016 and then 2017 and then 2018, and like it's been, it's been a long, long, long process with this game. But it started off as an individual, dude developing it. Now he's staffed up, has a whole team. PlayStation funding the shit out of this. This does not look like an independent one person project anymore. So shout out the Solaside. Come on over to the squad.
Ooh,
Let's see. And then so it's my pick again.
yeah, and that's why I'm trying to like, because I won't lie. I think we spoke about this behind the scenes. This is a pretty weak month for me as the things that I've had on my radar. There's also absolutely fuck all releasing on Xbox, if I'm being honest, which isn't helping to for me to pay attention to months like this.
I will take Shinobi Art of Vengeance with my next pick.
Good shout.
Um, yeah, I think that this out of all of those games, Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden Ragebound and well, there was one other one. Damn, totally fucking blanking. Oh, Prince of Persia, the Rogue Prince of Persia. I think that the art style on this is just striking. Like it's still, despite all of those other games, like it still really sets itself apart so well. Um, and yeah, I know that they had a physical print run that was available on LRG that I think I missed out on, unfortunately. I assume it will be releasing in retail markets and like doing the full thing that they always do, where it seems like it's only going to be on LRG for a little bit and then it ends up releasing everywhere else. So
I was going
I
to ask that.
hope,
Did they do that? Because this is Sega published. Have they done that with the Persona games?
yeah, it's weird.
Mm.
It's like if you type in on Best Buy or whatever, Shinobi, like you can't find a copy of this game, but I still do. I don't know if it's still available on limited run, but I know it was for a little bit.
Mm.
So it's back to me again. I think I will take Sword of the Sea. This is the game that's coming from uh the artists behind Journey and The Pathless and a lot of those very artsy games. Uh and in this, just in my opinion, looks fucking tremendous, man.
Are
I
you sure it's you? This is it's my turn.
Oh shit. Why did it let me okay, okay. Did I draft it for you? Okay, no. It let me draft. Okay, we're good. We're
I'm
good.
confused.
Yeah, for some reason it let me it told me I had to draft again, but now it's updated.
Okay. I was like, oh man. Oh. You know what? I'm gonna go with the because I think this is the game that we discussed where I had like
Oh yeah.
the weird editing cuts. But you know what? I'm gonna rep my Eurojank, my inner Eurojank, and go with Echoes of the End. Um, is this coming everywhere? Do you know, or is this just
Yeah,
PlayStation? Okay, so it is at least
it's
coming
releasing
everywhere.
everywhere.
Um, it looks probably more ambitious than it probably should have been shooting for. In
Yeah.
certain aspects, there's definitely some really rough edges in parts, but hey, man, you got to start somewhere. And I've always said I would rather, and this is why I like Eurojank. I don't know where the studio is based. I'm just using it as an example, but I would rather see somebody really overbuy it and fall on their face due to ambition and passion and soul, rather than put something out that just feels soulless. And they're at least really trying. It feels like with some of the stuff that's going on here for what it is. So yeah, I'll probably won't be buying it day one, but be waiting to see the reviews on it. But it looks interesting enough. I'll
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not getting a physical, and I don't know, it looks too big budget to not have a physical copy. That's kind of wild. So I probably won't be picking it up day one either. But once that goes on sale, because I'm assuming it'll be a 59.99 style game, um, so I probably won't be buying that digitally. But I do definitely want to play it. Anything in that vein is, you know, it goes right into my veins, if you will. I love a good old third person fantasy action adventure. Well, not necessarily fantasy, just third person action adventure in general.
oh, the hype factor for that is not high for many people.
What is it?
I think it was like zero point 0.3 that said.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, this is weird. So I get another pick, right?
Yep, snake draft style.
Mm. Man, I struggled even grabbing that. Um, hmm.
You can take Sword of the Sea. That's my fault for I should have refreshed. I can guarantee you that's gonna crack you a fucking 80 plus.
I will take. You know what? I'll throw. Uh, you gotta like take a chance with some of these like smaller indie games. Um, Tiny Bookshop.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
I
The
these types of things like they look extremely simple, but sometimes they just it's mood, isn't it? If it can
yeah.
strike, like if they can land this into say some influencers lap and they play it and they give it like, yeah, man, this is so fun, so addictive, and then that's it. Like it just spreads like wildfire. It can really appeal to people. So I'll give my nod to it. I think I was a little bit dismissive on it when we did the whatever we named it,
Auction.
the big auction
Yeah.
thing. It's probably a little bit too dismissive over it. And that's the beauty of it when you break it down to the month and you don't have so many other things to be able to compete with. Yeah, I'll go with it. I'll
Yeah,
go
and
with
it's the
the
thing
old
too
tiny bookshelf. A bookshop,
with that
sorry.
game. Yeah, it's the thing with that game where there's really nothing else like that specifically where you're running a little bookshop. I think you're in a mobile kind of pop-up store and you can travel around with it, I think. Like, I don't know. That just it's that game has a lot of good vibes, a lot of good vibes, good energy going that way.
Hmm.
And speaking of good vibes, I'm going with Sword of the Sea
Shocker.
as as I was trying to initially. Uh, yeah, like I said, Journey Artist,
Hmm.
Abzu, Pathless, all that, and now giving you a sandboard to do Tony Hawk flip tricks and grabs and rail grinds and half pipe dip dives. I don't know what words I'm even saying at this point, but you got all
Dip
sorts of tricks you're
dabs.
doing.
Yeah, boy.
Old man talks about skateboarding. Yeah, listen, it just looks more fun to me than like a Journey or any of those other games, just due to some of the kind of over the top movement and the rapid pace and the speed and the like just adding like a layer of platforming challenge to it. Yeah, looks right up my alley. So back to me again here, eh?
As it would
I,
seem.
you know what? If you're gonna take the damn bookstore, I'm gonna take the fruit bus. You might argue, are there too many of these? I would say probably yes. But Fruit Bus is oh wait, okay, nope, I'm fucked. Can't take it. It already released elsewhere, I'm guessing.
Oh no.
Interesting. Interesting. So it released on PC. It's coming to console in August, so no can do on the old Fruit Bus.
Man,
That's
they gotta be a little bit less. Like I said, splitting hairs. If you're fine with like a Gears of War re-release, which is just a barely tarted up version of something that's already been put out.
I'm not gonna
Hmm.
lie, I kind of like it though. I kind of like it because it's making it more challenging. Got to do a little bit of extra legwork. So
I'd
what I'm
be
gonna do is
fine if it was other
I'm
months, but nothing this.
gonna take off.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is the game that inspired Undertale. Like this was the first indie RPG, but it just never quite caught the eyeballs of the masses in the way that like Undertale did. But it was really one of the more influential games that doesn't get talked about. Now it's getting remade and brought to modern platforms. So off. Let's take off on the squad. And yeah, so those were my back-to-back picks. Sword of the Sea and off coming to the team. A lot of indie love here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games on the squad, and you have four. So this should be your last pick, I'm guessing.
It would be, but the because it makes us pick two, right? And because there's 10 entries here, it's gonna make me pick another one before it goes back to you, right? So I'll have to do a throw pick. So you'll tell me what your other one is after this.
I think we should be done after this. I think
Okay.
you should get one more pick, and it should be a wrap, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Make sure we refresh that. Alrighty. What do we got? Just want to quickly see this. Oh no, not. Mm, yeah, I'll take this. Super Robot Wars. Why?
Oh yeah, the Bandai title.
I got a soft spot for Bandai. What can I say? I give them so much leeway. Um, yeah, of the ones that we had listed there, that's probably the one that I would more than likely grab from the rest of the list. Um, yeah, I can't say that I'm passionate about it, but it's the type of thing where some Bandai games come out and they do pretty damn well. So, and sometimes they really don't. They put out enough. Maybe this will be one that kind of finds that little cult audience, and it can. You said it's open critic, right?
Yep.
That it pulls from. Maybe where it's pulling from, they'll have a little bit more favor to it than you might expect.
Yeah, slight bit more leniency.
Mm.
Um, well, shit, yeah, man. So I think that should complete the draft if I'm not mistaken, unless I totally fucked this thing up, which could be, but it'd be easy to fix it real quick.
As I go to add it. Oh yeah, hype factor one. Let's go, baby.
All
Let's go. It says it's still my turn.
right, so we'll pause here and I'll just go and rebuild it, and
I mean,
then we'll.
yeah. Okay.
What you mean? Is there a
Well,
way to like say end the draft or
all right. We'll pause it and we'll look through it to see if we can do something.
perfect,
So we'll be
perfect,
back.
perfect. All right, so we should have it fixed. confusion on my part. My brain is not, yeah, as you all are well aware, not the most mathematically inclined. I clicked 10 games instead of 5. So now we have 5 games instead of 10. So everything should look right on your screen. Our final rosters read as follows. Loon's team is made up of Metal Gear Solid 3, Gears of War Reloaded, Echoes of the End, Tiny Bookshop, and Super Robot Wars Y. My team is made up of Mafia the Old Country, Lost Soul Aside, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, Sword of the Sea, and Off. So there. How was that for a draft to close off the show? May the force be with you, my friend. I hope Echoes of the End comes out and cracks a 90 and breaks my heart, shatters my dreams. But I'm rooting for that game. I really am. I'm expecting a 64, but I'm
I was
rooting
about to
for that
say,
game.
I think it definitely smells in the 60s, unfortunately. What did
Yep.
Banishers get?
Probably like
70s,
78.
right?
Yeah, let's see. I
Because
don't know,
like I'm
maybe a
not
little bit higher.
because I'm not being obviously mean. We like them games, but if that seemed to hit across the board a lot better, storytelling, presentation, and stuff. So if that's hitting in them realms, I'd be shocked if it's equal to that personally.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's so Banishers is sitting at a 78. Um, yeah, there's no chance that it's even cracking sevens. If Banishers is a 78, I would be flabbergasted. I hope so. I hope so, but I doubt it. So yeah, that's it for the Rainbow Report episode, whatever the hell episode we are at. Shout
13.
out 13. 13. That's right. Um, Shout out to Sadik and Captain Corn Dog. Once again, double shout out because I forgot last week. Doubling up, doubling up. We appreciate y'all so much for all of the support. And yeah, like the video if you like the video, share it with a buddy, subscribe if you're new, all of that good stuff. Subscribe to Unnecessary Rambling as well. Game and Ramble and Unnecessary Rambling in the year 2025. That's I was thinking, I was like, do you want to have two rambling channels? And I was like, well, the Ringer podcast network, it's like the Ringerverse. They have Ringer movies and sports and this and that. So, oh, well, we'll have a Rambleverse.
I was gonna say Rambleverse. There you go.
No, welcome to the Rambleverse. You'll never be able to escape these these beautiful, beautiful sound waves that are hitting your ears right now. So, welcome to the Rambleverse. In 2030, we'll have a cinematic universe where to be I was gonna go for something there, and then in the
Start
middle of it,
listing off actors that would play us.
yeah, I was just like, dude, what are you doing? There's only so many words you can say before you're like, you got to stop saying words. So this is my limit. No more words for this episode. We hope y'all had a good one. Take it easy, guys. Hit us in the comments. Let us know your thoughts on things. See you very soon. Goodbye.
See you later.